Hello? Hello? Am I back? It disconnected for a second. Good? Yes? Cool. Yeah, that was weird. It just all of a sudden disconnected for like no reason. Sorry about that.
Container of water. Her water broke and you came out, and therefore you have to have a birth certificate.
Wow.
There, and it's got to be signed by the dock, because that's where the ship is sitting. The dock is where the ship sits.
They're just playing word association games. 47% to level 2. Don't let the train die. There's only like 30 seconds left.
So once you begin to see how the words and terms are all based on maritime admiralty, the law of water, the cash flow, the liquid asset.
But it's just in English, the dock, the water.
Yeah, of course. But of course, it goes all the way back to the English or British domination of the seas.
Oh.
And so when the British began to dominate the seas, the Knights
Bittergrin, thanks for 1,000 bits, getting us over level 2.
Templar Masonic Order of the Knights Templars, who have been in the middle.
It's always the goddamn Knights Templar.
Of Asia, came back into.
Is this stream supposed to be referred to as she? This stream is actually non-binary. So the stream itself, they, them.
Western, Eastern Europe, brought all of these concepts, and it was developed into a commercial system of words and terms and symbols.
Fenekagami says, for the foil, thank you,
which
7%
are used
to
in
level
courts
3.
and government and corporations. You know, your body as a corporation. No,
It's not. Legally, it is not. That's not how anything works.
that's a whole
Miss K's, thanks for gifting us up.
story. We could talk for hours on this, but your body as a corporation.
I could talk for hours if I just made shit up, too. That's what I do for a living.
Cells, you mean?
No. It's called, and by law, your body, your physical body is a corporation.
Word salad on the bingo card, yeah.
And so when you die, you're a corpse. Because when
No!
you're living, you're a corporation.
They're not even spelled the same way! Honest Noir with 50 bits says, I've heard corporations are people, but never people are corporations.
You are a business. And hanging out with that person is bad business.
No, don't you know, the law is people aren't people deserving of rights. Corporations are people deserving of rights. That's how it works.
Right.
Or who I hang out with is none of your business.
Right.
Because your body is a business.
Wow.
And so you say, well, you know, what you're doing with her or him is bad business.
Right.
But, of course, if you're getting married and she's very wealthy, you say she's of good stock. Right? Words and terms are based on maritime admiralty, the law of...
No, they are not! Okie Dad with 200 bits says, Hype Train bits to celebrate my oldest son's 16th birthday yesterday. Happy birthday yesterday to the birthday boy. First name bunch of numbers with 50 bits says it takes like 30 seconds to Google why this is a thing and to find out it started in the 14th century because people had unexplained mommy issues, or rather unexamined mommy issues, but I guess it's more fun to make up your own theories about it. Dregory Term with 50 bits says, I've been watching since a while before you came out as trans, and watching your transformation has been really cool. Looking hella femme now, and you seem a lot happier than you were way back then. I am a million times happier. Even though I'm pretty doomer on the world, at the very least, if I'm going down with that Titanic, I'm going down the gender I want, goddammit. Maps and Mimic says, thank goodness for this stream. I've just gotten done being on hold with the shittiest and shortest looping hold music for fucking 3 hours. That sucks. 50% to level 3.
Water. And so that's why when you go into a court, you have a fence and a gate. The people sit out here and the judge sits inside. The gate is called a floodgate. When you go through the canal, you have a floodgate.
Right.
So when you're sitting out here, you're in the law of the land. The judge has no control or no jurisdiction over the people sitting out here. No,
the judge has jurisdiction over everyone in his courtroom, or her courtroom, or their courtroom.
jurisdiction whatsoever.
Right, because they're outside the gate.
That's outside the gate.
Right.
That's on land.
Right.
But when you walk past that gate, now you're in hot water. And someone's going to have to bail you out.
Bail, yeah.
Okay.
Bail.
Clanums, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
So, did you write a book about all these men?
No, I've just been studying it for 48 years.
Wow. wow.
But it's fascinating because when you understand that there's, I mean,
I don't think he's a grifter. I think he's legitimately just a crazy guy. And I don't even mean to say that, like, he might be a nice guy otherwise. There are plenty of people who are, you know, relatively benign conspiracy theorists. I think he's probably mostly a normal guy. He's just the weird uncle you try to avoid conversations with at Thanksgiving. Because he's going to start talking about maritime law. Hydrate. Bummel Homestead says, I feel bad for every cashier this man encounters.
The whole subject is so large.
67%
and it would take
level 4.
hours to, and I'd have to go back to square one and walk through all the words and terms that are used in law and courts and in commerce.
Yeah.
For you to understand how pervasive this concept of water is on the earth.
Wow.
The law of water, maritime admiralty.
I don't know if he knows this. A lot of the earth is water. 70% and above.
It's an extraordinary story about how governments rule the world, and unless you...
Governments don't rule the world just with words. They also do so with a monopoly on violence, to be fair. Seriously, though, none of what he said is true. Guarstoneskin, thanks for gifting a sub. 89% to level 4. Bookworm with 145 bits says, got a mildly goth look going today. It works well. Thank you. If it wasn't so warm already, I have a black shawl with like moon stuff on it that I'd wear with it. What will we do next? Oh, the period one. The period one looks just abysmal. Okay. Let's... This is some kind of PSA about, you know, menstrual cycle. And, like, hey, it's a normal bodily process that a little over half of the population goes through. So, like, let's normalize it and not be weird about it and make sure that, you know, people are educated about it so they know how best to, you know, stay healthy and know what's normal and what might, you know, trigger red flags like maybe I should see a doctor. Whatever, you know? Just normalizing bodily function. So anyway, a conspiracy theorist, the guy who I think didn't believe different dog breeds exist. It's been a long time since we saw that video. Anyway, he's got a video and thinks this is a conspiracy. Honest Noir says, I just hear the period one and I instantly cringe. Anti-Pretzel says, a senator once said war is a business and such before using his nanomachines to fight a cyber ninja samurai. Wait a minute. Almost to level 4. Alright, let's check this out.
On again with another truth. Now, this right here is crazy, man. It really shocked me right here when I see this commercial right here. Now, I was at one of my friend's house and I think he got on BET or one of them on the TV. And I see this commercial come on and it was shocking. When I seen the commercial, like, I catch a little piece of it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then...
This is the kind of person this ad is made for, by the way. A cis man who's so grossed out by the concept of periods that he thinks having to think about them at all is like an affront to him. He's that kind of person.
I decided...
Have I seen the whitest kid's period sketch? No.
You know what? I'm gonna
49 seconds left in the hype train. So close to getting over level 4.
look it up and look it up to YouTube and see what's really going on, and then I finally found it. This period commercial, and they use man to hack it, people. Wow, we go get into this one.
He's offended because I believe in the ad it's a what if. What if everyone had periods? So it's a cis man getting a period. There we go, over level 4. So in this, it's a cis man getting a period, and the ad's point is like, what if everyone had a period? I bet we wouldn't be so weirded out about it. So this guy's weirded out by the concept of a man having a period, which is funny, because there literally are men who have periods. Trans men. Moira Soma with 100 bits, Bumble Homestead with 50 bits says, is train stuck? It was just teetering. Sky Comet 00 says, I'm glad I have Hannah today. A couple days ago, my boyfriend left me for another woman. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. What a fucking dick. 6% to level 5.
Right here and break it down, because this is really shocking right here, people, that they go through this right here to prove a point. This don't make no fucking sense. Let's run it. Tell you, man, we live in a devil world right here, people.
We live in a devil world. Because in this ad, a guy has a period.
I think I got my period.
Why did they do this, people? This is a boy right here. What do you mean you think you have your period? Is this a mockery?
He's so fucking offended.
Wow, this is a damn joke right here, people. Why they do this right here? I told you it's a mix-up, fucked up world we live in, people. Why they do this? Wow, there you go, people. Why they do this? And I told you, TV commercial right here for the masses.
The commercial literally explains it if you watch it to the end.
You can't be kidding me, people. What the fuck is this? Wow.
Let me help you.
How the fuck this make a point, people? How this make a point? I don't get it.
The point is that it's not a weird thing. You are making it weird, and you're illustrating the exact point the ad is trying to make by freaking out about it. Clanum says, with 100 bits, boy gets period. Talk about red peony blooming? I don't get it. I don't know what that means.
Sorry, do you have a tampon?
Wow, people, oh, they get males to do this. I don't understand. Wow.
Yeah.
Flower.
Wow, there you go, people. What is that right there, people?
That would be a string from a tampon.
Wow, tampon string on a man? This is what they push on BT, people. Wow.
Does he really not get the point? I'm pretty sure they expressly spell that out in a second, like what the point of this ad is. Sky Comet says, yeah, it's a boy. It's a trans boy. Takes several seats, snowflake, McWhiney pants. That's the thing. This ad isn't even about trans people. It's about, like, just like a hypothetical world in which everyone, cis, trans, otherwise, gets periods, right? It's just a hypothetical. God, no one tell this guy about trans men. He's gonna fucking freak out. Narrator 9000 says, there was someone claiming that menstruation is unnatural and that if we returned to a life without chemtrails or whatever, people with vaginas would never bleed. That's a person who doesn't understand human anatomy. 13% to level 5 with a minute left. Remember, level 5 for the full tinfoil.
Wow, I can't believe this shit.
It's not a corn suit, I know, but still.
There you go. There you go, people.
Part of grown up.
Part of growing up. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, mammal anatomy.
I'm on my period.
Me too.
Wow, bam. Wow, people, what is this right here, people? What the fuck is this right here? Both of them on their period. Wow. I tell you, people, I told you, TV is a deception, people. I told you, if you can help it, don't watch a TV, man. I told you, it's brainwash for the dumb people, all the way in. Wow. Both of them on their period.
Yeah, literally, the end thing says if we all had them, maybe we'd be more comfortable with them. It's literally a thing to be like, don't be weird about periods, you fucking weirdo.
Yes, There you go, people.
Thanks for the level 4 hype train, everyone. Not quite enough for the full tinfoil. Where are the ears?
Kinks,
Or
let's
horns?
get into it and break it down. Bam.
Today we're going to talk
Hold on,
about
still
how to
think
use
you're
flex,
defensive?
and we'll start.
There you go, people. So this one right here, the flex. But pay attention to it, people. It's the same fucking shit they do the commercial for. You know, I was gonna get into it and find out what the fuck they're trying to...
Oh, this, I think this part's an ad for, like a menstrual, something similar to what looks like a menstrual cup. I think she called it like a menstrual disc or something. But very similarly to a menstrual cup, it's something you insert. Yeah.
Push on the masses. Why they're showing man having period? What?
Because did you not read the end part of the ad?
This right here.
Start by introducing our good friend Gina. Gina is an anatomically correct model of the female reproductive system. She was actually made in 1959, and we found her on eBay. So you're going to start using Flex by washing your hands and sitting on the toilet. You're then going to pinch Flex in half so it's thinner than a tampon. And you're going to...
And take a look at... Why would you wear a uterus on the shirt?
What do you mean? It's the fucking... What? They're literally doing an ad for a menstrual product, sir.
Wow, this is... Oh, wow, this is crazy right here with the star.
I actually like that shirt, too.
Our David in the circles. Wow, I told you people, they're cold-blooded, and of course the uterus kind of look like a damn goat head. That's what...
A uterus looks like a goat head. Whose fault is that? Bitter truth guy? This guy's a Christian, I think. Right? What God, if you believe in God, God made uteruses and ovaries and how everything works. What?
How they do it, people, 100%, and of course, the Baphomet sign sitting right there. What is this for, people? The peace sign? You're dumb. It's for the Baphomet, and it's two fucking Baphomet right here giving you this exhibition. Right
flex
here.
into the vaginal canal.
Flex.
Now, when you feel the edge sticking out, you're going to use your finger to continue pushing it back and down toward the cervix, not up like a tampon. And you should feel Flex kind of pop into place, but just to be sure, use your finger to make sure that the edge is popped up underneath the pubic bone. And that's what creates the leak-free seal. Now, Flex doesn't sit inside the vaginal canal.
So if you notice what they're basically selling you right here is this little thing that they squeeze up and push into the woman for it to catch the period, so-called. So that's why they give you that commercial that you don't...
To catch the, quote, so-called period? Does he not think this is a period product? Like, what the fuck does he think it is? This guy comment says, why would you wear a uterus shirt? How to say you've never seen a pro-choice protest without saying it. And Elminato says, clearly the uterus looks like a goat because Satan tricked Eve to eat from the tree.
Don't need a pad, but watch this right here, people. The pyramid on the ring, 100% satanic shit. And if you have some brain, don't fuck with nothing that they bring to you like this. You understand?
Inside a space called the vaginal fornix. And this is actually a space that every woman has inside of her body.
Someone's trying to teach him about anatomy.
Flex was designed to fit over 95% of women.
So Flex will collect menstrual fluid for up to 12 hours. When you're ready to remove Flex, you're going to wash your hands and sit on the toilet. Insert one finger into the vaginal canal and hook it around the edge. You're going to pull...
It's interesting to me that they're clarifying that you need to wash your hands first. Are there people out here with vaginas just going out all day, then not washing their hands, then sticking their fingers in their vaginas? Like, I don't have a vagina yet, but to be clear, would be washing my hands. Like, I'm not gonna fucking stick my fingers in me after being out all day. Who knows what I've been touching? First name bunch of numbers says, damn, too bad I don't have a uterus as a satanic conspiracy on my bingo. Aries Corinthier with 69 bits, nice, says anatomy, that's science, and science is Satan. Checkmate, atheists.
Pull straight out, keeping it parallel to the floor.
I know I've met people, but, like, this is about your own, like, health, you know? I don't know. You'd think people would be more concerned about their own well-being.
So that the menses stay in the catch. And it should kind of...
This is bullshit for the dumb masses, people.
Information on this period product is information for the dumb masses.
Oh, you 100%. Later on, watch them come out. I'm guarantee you. I'm sure. Watch later on. they come back and tell you that this shit right here that you stuck in you to catch the period gonna give you cancer. Uterus cancer and all. Watch if you think I'm playing. Just brace yourself for it. That's what I tell you, people. Whenever you see them bring something dramatic like this, just remember what it's there for. It's here to kill off the masses. Catch me on the run. I'm gone.
Population control is a motive.
On.
Holy fucking shit. That guy's nuts. Let's do the bingo card real quick. Population control is a motive. Illuminati Freemasons. Satanic, because he thinks uteruses are satanic. Believe we had word salad for the boat guy, the maritime law guy. I think that's it. That's not how women work. That's not how women work. I didn't mention Hot Pockets earlier, someone else did, and then I responded to them. We've established before, if someone, like, says something in the chat to make me, like, say a thing, it doesn't count. Because that's cheating. He mentioned Star of David, so anti-Semitism. Okay, thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card, too. Where's thinly veiled anti-Semitism? There's overt. There we go, it's the last one. This is a clip I saved the other day. I don't remember why, though. So I guess this is sort of like a mystery bag of conspiracy. What are these ladies talking about? I don't remember.
Okay, so we're talking about a hierarchy. And it obviously, well, at least to me, appears that you're going off planet as well. So when you say you outrank them, can you explain where your rank is and why would they obey that ranking sort of system? Why who's got the power in that situation?
Okay, so we're talking about a system that everybody is aware of, right? When we're talking about clearances and programs and, you know, now the Space Force is in the front and then there's still the SSP guys in the back. So you have that whole structure as far as a military and intelligence system, right? And then you also have a secondary structure that always existed above these systems. So people talk about like, oh, the Rothschilds are terrible people, and they talk about, you know, the Bowers, and they talk about the Morgans and the Carlyles and a lot of, you know, and then they talk about secret space programs and DUMBs, but what people, even themselves...
This sounds so much like QAnon stuff.
You know, the people that are in these programs don't realize.
I wouldn't say Q cited as a source yet, though, for the bingo.
Is there's a whole nother hierarchy that existed on this planet forever. This is not a new thing. You know, you've talked about it with some of your guests. I know you interviewed Shane the Ruiner. He has a whole blog called The Ruiner something 777, right? And that blog tells you that there's a whole other world going on here that we, as the average everyday people, know nothing about. Well, I got thrown into this thing and I got to learn all about it.
I think it's aliens on bingo, but I'm waiting to call it just because, like, she might just be talking about, like, the government having secret space stations, which wouldn't be aliens, it would be sci-fi technology. So I'm waiting to make a determination. It might be aliens, or it might be sci-fi technology. Either way, it'll be a space. I just don't know which one. Maybe both. Screaming at the Radio, thanks for 15 months, says, it's resubscribe day. Also, I adulted today and called people on the phone. So proud. Nice. I hate phone calls, too.
About them and who they were and who, you know, who's who. So when I talk about a clearance level, we're talking about over, I guess you would say, although I don't work with anyone in the space program. I don't work with anyone in the SSP. I don't work with anyone in the order. You know, from time to time they do contact me, and obviously they're very angry with me for many different reasons, right? Their whole timeline structure is gone.
Honest Noir says, I registered to vote in Georgia today. Good. Everyone vote. Everyone vote. Everyone vote.
And somehow I'm getting blamed for this, but nonetheless, my clearance is only for that purpose, right? So when you're fighting your enemy, they respect from that level down. I'm not talking about others or anything like that because nobody cares about that. But in the world, the way it's worked, it's always been a hierarchical system, right? So you have the order at the top, you have the covens above the order, you have, you know, so on and so forth above that, right? Now, below that, you have a bunch of military people and intelligence people that believe in this system because it protects them from each other. So,
okay, well, maybe we can just kind of cut to the chase a little bit here.
Yep.
Now.
Come on! Get to the good shit.
Who, in your view, is, you know, can we name names? Who's at the very top of this so-called order or list of orders?
If you were to go with the existing structure as it is today, because it's very different than it was years ago, I would tell you, you would be called, there's a guy by the code name Mr. Black. He's an
Very original.
Italian.
Someone saw Reservoir Dogs.
I have never heard his name, but I can fathom some guesses.
If I was proofreading a middle schooler's paper, like story, creative writing, and they named the villain Mr. Black, I'd be like, just so you know, that's pretty derivative. Like, that's not good. That's gonna make people roll their eyes. Maybe change that. Psychotropic Thunder, thanks for 17 months. Hydrate.
And then you have Klaus, who's risen in the ranks due to the recent elimination of 2 different covens. And you have this Richard Weiss guy that keeps popping up all over the place, giving orders that are crazy. So I would say right now, since the changes that took place on the 8th of August, these 3 seem to be the one barking out orders, you know, to the White House, to the Space Force, to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Those are the people I see most often right now.
Okay, so if now at this point you're not going off planet yet.
No.
So, and my understanding is that you actually worked with, correct me if I'm wrong, Marduk, and that you were also trained by the Anunnaki. And this...
Oh my god, you're right. Weiss is white in German. I knew that because of Blanca Weiss. So it's Mr. Black and Mr. White. God damn it. Hey, there's my aliens. Fuck it, aliens.
This is your claim. Is
okay.
that correct?
How's being a woman going? Pretty good.
Trained is one thing, schooled is another. So they all lie. They're very charming, right? Marduk is very, very charming, and cunning and whatnot. His father, Enlil, would speak in riddles all the time. You know, when the tree blows to the left, that is when it is time to go. I'm like, you know, you have to figure out what that means. And it's kind of a game for them. Humans are a game for them. We were always considered slaves. We were a farm, we're cattle. Myself, no different to them. And the one thing that they just wanted to do was be able to control me. That was it. You know, that was their goal. So I learned from them, from talking to them, a lot of things. And by them so-called, I guess you would say, constantly trying to manipulate me. So I got schooled. Like, it's like, well, you learned a lesson, right? It's not that, well, here, Kim, let us help you. They have had no intention of helping me do anything ever, not even a little bit.
Okay, so I think because my audience is not going to be familiar, as I am, with your background, maybe we need to even go back further. So let's talk about when your childhood, somehow you got into contact directly with the Anunnaki. And there's not that many humans that are in direct contact. I don't think. I mean, I know there are some. And I myself I believe I've had some contact with them. So how did your contact work out? Can you talk about that?
Well, for most of these folks that are involved in this organization, right, we call the Order, their Bible is Project Looking Glass. So
Project Looking Glass is the thing from the QAnon community. Not Q as a source, though, because I don't think Q actually said this. That they think Donald Trump and people like him had access to Project Looking Glass, which was a device that let them see into the future and the past. Using complex quantum computing, they could basically determine the outcome of any action and make predictive, like, stuff. So yes, this is believed sci-fi tech actually exists. Okie Dad says, not that many. Well, zero does fall in that range, so yeah.
They live by it, they breathe by it, it's how their whole day goes. You've had guests.
Peter's probably seen this. In fact, I had a Peter video pulled up, not a new one, but actually one of the older ones I could find from before the inauguration, because I think it's hilarious. Basically a scrying pool, yes. A technologically skinned scrying pool.
On the show.
But that also lets you see future and past events.
That have said that it didn't stop.
Scrying, at least in D&D 5e, you can normally only see what's happening now in the present.
Stopped working in 2012, and they're right. That doesn't mean the lies stopped coming in 2012, but the people that actually had access to it, right, knew the game was over. The jig was up. But they still continue on because there was a 17.8% chance they could revert.
17th letter of the alphabet. You guessed it. Q.
Back to the dark timeline. Okay? So if it was preferable for M and his structure, he spent 1,008 years training and working with the dark, the people he would call the slave masters. And they would even make fun of them.
I think we're going to pass on this script. I know you're... Like, I get it. Dune's popular again, but I don't know. This kind of, like, sci-fi epic, I just don't think we have the budget for it. We gotta put 7 more Marvel movies out next year. Puka with 300 bits. Thank you.
But they were just so programmed and so under control, he felt that, his system would...
This is enough that even though she isn't directly citing Q, she's just spouting Q stuff. So Q is a source, sure. She's just not citing her source, but that's her source.
Continue if he could convince me that these people were the good guys. You should work with these people. But that's not the way it worked out. So...
Okay, but we're, and I appreciate that. And we can delve into some of that more deeply, but...
She's really bad at this. The lady on the left, who's the host of this show, is clearly trying to direct the girl on the right, or the woman on the right, rather, to say, like, hey, how did you get into this? Explain the origin. My audience doesn't know who the fuck you are. And the woman on the right just is not getting it.
I think, just in terms of my questions, so that people kind of get the understanding of what's your relationship.
Okay.
How, again,
so,
do you get into...
So in Project Looking Glass, right? So I'm sorry, it's a little long explanation. So in Project Looking Glass, they saw me changing the timeline, right? There are others also that they saw. So they were looking for the people with specific DNA. So the CIA back in the 70s devised a program where they were literally combing through trash looking for these people, right? So on a cup or a bottle or whatever it was. So they actually located me in 1983, according to them. Now, first time I ever saw M, right, as he still looked to the day he died, was I was 8 years old. So he was trying to see if he could...
Did she meet Mephistopheles? Okie Dad says, nothing fuels an illusion like a manufactured feeling of self-importance.
Marduk, I'm assuming you mean by M?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what did he look like?
He looked like an older Asian man.
Okay.
And until 2015, that's who I thought he was.
Okay, so he manifested as an older Asian.
They found her combing through literal trash. Yeah, I didn't quite understand that one.
Asian man, and
M is the boss of MI6 in James Bond.
Was he short, tall?
At least I think.
Oh, just regular.
Am I wrong? I've only seen like one James Bond movie and I didn't like it.
Average height, for a man. I wouldn't...
Okay.
I mean, everybody's taller than me. It's hard to... So I'd say he was probably about 5'10", maybe.
All right. And so did this person appear in your dream space, or did you see him walk into your house, or how did that work?
Physically in person.
Okay. And how did that happen? In other words, what was the dynamic? Did he knock on your door? Did he call you? Did he make an arrangement? Did he show up at your house? You were how old when? 8?
At the time, my mother was dating a gentleman with the last name Donovan. As you know, Donovan is a...
I'm going to skip ahead. This is a 3-hour thing, so obviously I never watched it. Which one did I watch? Casino Royale? Actually, no, I've seen 2. I've seen Casino Royale, and I've seen, what's the one with the guy? That's helpful. The other good one. Casino Royale, and then I know there's one that people don't like, and then there's the good one, the really good one after that. I think Skyfall. I've seen Skyfall, and I saw Casino Royale. I get it. I got nothing against the Bond movies. I just don't... Doesn't do anything for me.
Prominent name in the CIA. I would say that, yes.
Of the dark side. And this is who Trump met with, who said you're going to be president. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that was in 98.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They told him he was going to be president, and he could be the master of this timeline, which only had a 17% chance of actually potentially happening, right? So he thinks he goes through life doing these things and thinks that he's going to be the president. And he became the president, right? So that part was true. But what happened is they need to have someone play the role of the savior, okay? Create the problem and be the solution. That's how you create a savior. Mm-hmm. So when Putin started falling out of favor with his colleagues, now Trump and Putin are both a member of the Black Sun, okay?
Okay, so let's talk about the Black Sun.
A Black Sun is usually Nazi iconography, so weird choice on her part. Hawthorne723 says, I know I'm late to the party, but woo, Hannah is live in the middle of an 80-hour work week, so a spot of tinfoil is the perfect remedy. Added bonus, my fatigued brain state, some of this may actually make sense. I hope not. Get some rest when you can.
And how one becomes a member of that.
Okay. I think I'm done with this. It's 3 hours. It seems interesting, but like, damn. By the way, this channel is in Russian, or something. I guess I shouldn't say Russian. It's in some sort of Eastern European something, I think. I'm not quite sure. How about some New Zealand conspiracy theorists? What's up with New Zealand and having so many conspiracy theorists? It seems like per capita, the amount of conspiracy theorists in New Zealand is relatively high. I'm wondering why. Is anyone in my chat from New Zealand that can explain this phenomena to me? Have I seen the move to Russia clip on Twitter? No.
Guilty as fucking murder by proxy as the lot of them. Yeah, and you agree. Fuck's sake. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Too many jabs. Yeah, too many fucking
These are a bunch of anti-vaxxers protesting something.
jabs. He's not wrong. You are pathetic. Imagine if I was your daughter standing here, or your granddaughter. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
We fought for you in Wellington. The mandates were dropped for you to get...
My brother had the balls to leave the day you were supposed to go to Parliament. No more police. You're fucking rotten. A lot of you.
And then they turned on
And get on your knees and pray for her, why don't you?
women and children.
Jesus Christ won't help you.
Peacefully protesting is our right to do on this land. We were born here too, you know.
What do you think it feels like having an 11-year-old commit suicide because of that bitch?
From the backseat. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Standing here like this. Come on! The muzzle's on. Whoa!
You're dropping on the field.
They are indoctrinating our children for pedophilia.
Oh, that's a good
To consent for 4 years old to their bodies to people like you. What the fuck is you? Oh my god, I want to vomit on your shoe.
Did she just say I want to vomit on your shoes? Okay. Is this someone running for some kind of council seat?
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's early in the afternoon and I just wanted to get on and spread some love, but also spread some information as well, because News Hub like doing that, so we're going to do exactly the same, and we're going to come back at them with their Ashley Bloom Grubberfield crap that he's trying to ram down everybody's throats now regarding putting fluoride back into our water. Ashley Bloomfield, this message
The
is...
fluoride water thing conspiracy theorists get into is so funny too, because a lot of municipalities aren't doing the fluoride anymore, or there's a lot of initiatives to pull back on it. Not for conspiracy reasons, but because it's, in this day and age, often superfluous. You see, the vast, vast majority of toothpastes have fluoride and other dental care products. So, you don't really need to put fluoride in the water anymore because people get it when they brush their teeth. So, it's just a cost-saving thing. It's not a big deal. Fluoride's fine. It helps your teeth. It's been in the water for a very long time. It's fine.
You can stick your fluoride where the sun don't shine.
In my closed mouth? That's where it goes.
And for anyone who knows anything about fluoride and what it actually is, I'm going to give you a real little taste teaser.
She one of these people that thinks it's a mind control something? Which is weird anyway, by the way, because a lot of people drink bottled water now, anyway. What does she think about bottled water? Occult Comics says, no, you're wrong, Hannah. It's because they've turned all the frogs gay, finally. Oh, thank God. Our national crisis of heterosexual frogs has ended.
Fluoric acid is a waste product which is collected from the chimneys of the fertilizer industry.
Okay. I don't really care where they get it. We know fluoride is safe. It's fine.
Fluoride chemical also contains traces of lead, aluminium, mercury, arsenic, and sometimes uranium.
Does she know what the word traces mean?
It is actually banned from being released into the air, sea, lakes, and rivers because it is toxic to animals and the environment. But here is Dr. Ashley Bloomfield saying it is...
Yeah, you don't want to release any chemical like that into nature because you don't know what's going to happen and how it's going to affect different creatures. We know how it affects humans because we've done tests on that and know how it works. So we can put it in our water supply, but you don't want to put it in nature because we don't have time to test every single life form out there.
Safe to put in our water. Then please explain, Mr. Dr. Bloomfield, if it contains lead, aluminium, mercury, arsenic.
Fascist commie with 5 months says, Yo, Hannah, I have a great channel you should check out. How can I get their YouTube channel too? You can post it here.
And sometimes uranium.
I don't know if I'll use it today because usually I don't do videos people send on the same day for bingo reasons, but I will save it for later.
Why are you wanting to put that into our water and poison us?
Not poison. It's good for your teeth. But again, probably superfluous at this point if you use anything but... You'd have to go search out fluoride-free toothpaste, which probably exists, but like, again, the vast majority have fluoride in them. Hydrate.
This is unbelievable. What happens is ratepayers, money, buys this toxic chemical. It's handled by workers wearing hazmat suits.
Does she understand how concentrations work? Like, if you dilute fluoride into all the water supply, it's less concentrated than people who are dealing with the raw material. Right?
So that's how toxic this stuff is that they're trying to push back into our waterways. This fluoride is what goes into our drinking water. It actually says it is recommended that pregnant women avoid drinking fluorinated water. Wonder why that is. Because fluoride is a neurotoxic.
No. Alright. She's just gonna repeat a bunch of bullshit, so.
Governor General Cindy Carlo.
Thanks for the link.
My name is Karen Brewer. I have lost
Oh my god, her first name is literally Karen.
confidence in the government. I know about your Freemason demolay in
Freemasons on the bingo card.
breeding program, Pharaoh. I instruct you to dissolve parliaments.
Dissolve Parliament?
And issue the writs for fresh elections for every city, district and regional council and the central parliament too. I instruct you to work with your inbred counterpart in Australia, Governor General David Hurley. I want all the documents Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission released to the people unredacted. These things are not up for negotiation. We will be here.
Your players are finishing their current arc this Sunday, and my plans for the professor are the end of the next arc. Nice. I had D&D last night. It was super fun. We made so much money, and we got a bounty. We're going to go bounty hunting on our vacation. We're already going to go on vacation to this bay area south of the city we all live in. And they're having Kraken Fest, which is sort of like a lobster festival type thing. You know, seafood and stuff down in this bay that's famous for, like a kraken being killed there. So we're going to go have a nice little vacation, get to eat some seafood, and do bounty hunting. So that's going to be fun. Come check out Charisma Saves if you haven't seen it. It's a lot of fun. We do it over on twitch.tv/actualjake on Thursdays. Gnome Pickles says, and Karen and I want world peace for it to rain bourbon. What's your point?
Every day.
Still the Russian cat girl? Yep.
Until you do as instructed. This is the end of Pharaoh's rule. You filthy Freemason demolays.
You filthy Freemason.
We know. We see you now. Do these things immediately, or we will be back here again tomorrow. To every state governor across Australia and the administrator of the Northern Territory, listen up.
Something something Kubrick stare .jpg.
I have lost confidence in the government. I instruct you to dissolve parliaments and issue the writs for fresh elections for every local council and every state parliament across Australia. I instruct you to coordinate with Governor-General David Hurley. I want all the documents Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission
Siberian Winter with 100 bits says, ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Released to the people unredacted. Governor-General of Australia David Hurley. My name is Karen Brewer. And I have lost confidence in the Australian Federal Parliament.
Is she just gonna keep fucking repeating herself?
I instruct you to dissolve the Federal Parliament and issue the writs for fresh elections immediately. Further, I want all the documents that Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission released to the people unredacted. These things are not up for negotiation. Governor-General David Hurley, take a look out your driveway, because the Anzac is gathering there. It's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Because now the pressure's built on both sides of the ditch. Your Freemason network of Pharaoh's house, it's crumbling, and the Anzac is rising. You do these things today, or we will be back here again tomorrow.
Ooh. We'll come back tomorrow and impotently yell at a house you're probably not even in.
So I want to really start exposing how ugly, how evil, and how determined this corporation is to kill our people off, okay? And knowing that there are children in here, it's disgusting what they have been doing. So I'm going to show you the problem, and then we're going to talk about solutions that we're putting in place that I've been helping facilitate, amongst many other things. But this is very, very important because it's the difference between people suffering and people thriving. So throughout this whole perimeter of the Free Hive, right around the block, right, I have my own teams in place, watching certain things, reporting back certain information around technological weapons, right? They're tech weapons that they're using right across the world at all these big convoys and all these protests. And I'm talking about those EMF machines, those radiation machines, and all those kind of things like that.
Radiation machines? Does this person think that the government is shooting, like, microwaves at them?
We've seen it happening in Canberra to the point where people were coming out of that protest in Canberra with big massive blisters. I haven't seen anything like that. I know people are suffering headaches.
Oh, are they talking about the heat guns? Because I think those are actually real things. For, like, dispersing, like large groups of people. I've seen the sound ones, and I do think I've seen ones that are supposed to cause, like, uncomfortable heat. But, anyway. So, boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is an old Peter video, but I wanted to go back to see how his predictions held up. Because that's the fun part with conspiracy theorists that make specific claims, right? Is that you can go back and debunk them. So this is, and I'm not kidding, this is a video from 4 days before Biden's inauguration back in 2021. This is 4 days before that. So let's take a look.
There's a 100% chance that Trump will be inaugurated this year and he will be president. And there's
Peter's confidence interval on the bingo card.
a 100% chance that Biden and all these other criminals will be arrested, and a lot of them will be for treason, and we know what's going to happen to people that commit treason. Now, how do I know this for a fact? How can I be 100% sure, considering the lack of moves from Team Trump? I'm not paying attention to the moves so much as I'm paying attention to the resources that each team has.
Remember how Peter owes me a bullet crown that he never gave me?
To strategize. I'll explain in a second. Hi, my name is Peter Healer, and I'm here to keep you healthy, safe, and sane. So click on the subscription button on the bottom right corner of the screen so the information from my videos can calm you down, keep you healthy, and protected. Alright, so let's dive right into it. How do I know that Trump's going to win? I think it's easy to get lost in the moves. Trump's not making any big moves. He's acting weak. But what you really need to pay attention to is the resources. Have you ever been watching like a soccer game or a football game and the team that has all the good resources is losing?
What sports is he watching where resources are involved? It kind of sounds like he's describing a strategy game, like a turn-based strategy.
And at the end, they totally win. They go from underdog to slaying it. Well, maybe that's because very often that team is playing a strategic move, like in sport.
You'll get it as soon as you get the Space Jam review. Here's my Space Jam review. It's a bad movie. It's a... How do I put this? Space Jam is a corporate synergy strategy in search of a product, and that product turned out to be Space Jam, and it's bad. Space Jam is bad, but it's nostalgic. It does, however, encapsulate a very particular period of the 90s in which, for some reason, the Looney Tunes were affiliated with, like, basketball and sports and, like, street fashion. I don't get it.
Sports, sometimes this move is...
Lola Bunny, also probably made everyone furries. Autos Noir says it was the movie that launched 1,000 furries. Yes. Yep.
Tire out the opponents.
Gnome Pickles says, if Space Jam sucked any harder, LeBron James would not have been able to have had more children.
Make it appear they're winning, lower the defenses, and then use all your energy towards the end and slay them in the game. I think a similar strategy is going on right here. But let me dive into just this one point. I made a video, 12 reasons Trump will be inaugurated, but I'm just going to get into one of those 12 reasons. And with that alone, I can prove.
You know what's actually good? Lola Bunny was a shitty character from Space Jam. She didn't have a character. Her character was just, what if we had a love interest for Bugs Bunny and she was a rabbit, but sexy. Lola Bunny in the Looney Tunes show, which is a more recent version of Looney Tunes that ran some years ago. Pretty good. I like that version of Lola.
That Trump will win. So let's dive right into it. Basically, we're looking at a very complicated chess match right now. It's a strategy.
They turned her into a psycho stalker? Yeah, which is more interesting than just being anthropomorphic rabbit sex object.
Game in a sense. So whoever has the best resources, whichever team has the best resources to strategize accurately and intelligently, they will win. So let's look.
Reminder, I'm pretty sure this was already after Rudy Giuliani had showed up in front of a landscaping business to enact some sort of huge strategy for Trump. Minutes after the election was called for Biden. So at this point, Peter should know that, like, the Trump team is incompetent, right? He should know this.
At Team Satan. They're backed by Satan, who is a dumb angel, who is evil.
Take that, Satan, you dumb angel bitch!
And if he...
To be clear, Satan, very nice guy. I've met him. He's fine. Made a small deal about a decade back, so I wouldn't have to do a real job. I'd just have to shitpost on the internet every day. He's all right. He stands too close to you when he talks, and I think he eats a lot of garlic. But other than that, not a bad guy. Argonian Bum, thanks for 24 months. Happy second anniversary, says, it's been a wild ride. Thanks for blessing this hellscape, especially as a Michigan resident, with your goofy wit and humor. Thank you very much.
Satan was very, very smart. He would not be fighting against God, who is the most powerful being in the universe. So, their leader, Satan...
It's almost like the story doesn't make a lot of sense, Peter. Crazy.
...is already pretty dumb. What about the people? Hugh says, over and over and over again, when referring to these enemies, he says, these people are stupid. They are stupid.
Q claimed as a source. We already had that, I think, but doubly so.
That's their intelligence level. They're just stupid. And then if you combine that with the fact that a lot of these people on Team Satan were addicted to adrenochrome. And if you're addicted to that, and then suddenly Trump cuts off all the supply so they...
How's Trump looking these days, by the way? Did you guys see the recent photo? It was not a flattering photo. It was from, like, yesterday? Where was it? Someone send me a link to the photo, because you guys know what photo I'm talking about.
Can't get that. The side effects are a tremendous amount of brain fog. That's why people like Nancy Pelosi can barely put together a sentence that makes much sense.
No, that's because she's geriatric, like most of our politicians. It's disgusting. Adrenochrome on bingo, indeed.
Not to mention she's addicted to GMO ice cream, which is really creating a lot of brain fog.
Hey, ice cream's fucking delicious, Peter. Go fuck yourself.
Why do people...
If I have to work with Satan to have ice cream, I'm working with Satan!
People say that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden have dementia because they're so brain foggy. And who knows, maybe they do have dementia. Just look at Joe. Joe is so bad at debating, he doesn't...
How bad is he? JP Black says, nuh-uh, Herman is the most powerful man in the universe, or He-Man is the most powerful man in the universe according to Turmoil in the Toy Box.
He doesn't even know how to reply to anything Trump says, and he has to have an earpiece and be told exactly what to say. And even then, he fumbles. Or when he's doing a very easy interview with someone who's just throwing softball questions. What's your favorite ice cream? What's your favorite color? Your favorite
this
number?
recent photo of Trump,
it's
he's
so
not looking
difficult
great,
for
but,
Joe,
you know, he's
that he
old,
actually
so
has to read all the
surprising.
answers. He can't memorize it. He has to read all the answers. So even reading a script, just reading a little script that he practiced is too difficult for him, and he stumbles all the time. That is Team Satan. You know,
Satan hasn't figured out teleprompters?
Totally dumb. Do they have any type of computer that they're helping for strategy, that helps them with strategizing, or any type of good tool that really helps them make big moves? No.
Again, he's talking about that Project Looking Glass thing that was mentioned in the earlier video. He thinks that Trump's team has a machine that lets them see the future, literally. This is one from the same day, it looks like. Yeah, certainly could be. Oof. That is a gross guy.
Not really. What about...
Yeah, Biden has a speech impediment. There are plenty of things to shit on Biden for. I don't like Biden. I hope he doesn't run again, but he's gonna. And I'll vote for him, because I don't want to die. Or at least I want to put off my inevitable death. At the hands of the state. Anyway, but either way, yeah, Biden sucks. But his speech impediment, I think the right has kind of pulled back a little bit. I haven't heard as many complaints about that, because every time it happens, people go, he has a speech impediment, you fucking assholes. He stutters sometimes, it's fine.
about their leaders, the George Soros, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the people that are making moves behind the scenes. You have these people who are having big egos, and they want to be the one to defeat Trump. And it's just all about them. They don't care about anyone else. Do my move, do my thing. They can't put their egos aside and cooperate well. This is just how evil works. Evil is very destructive and bad at cooperating. They can cooperate. I mean, they stole the election. They can cooperate. They can work together. They can be organized. But they're not very good at it, especially at the top level.
They're not very good at it. They're just good enough to add millions upon millions of votes in strategic locations across the country without anyone getting caught or ratting out. But they're bad at working together.
When it comes to strategizing how to defeat Team Trump, they can't. They're not very good at it because everyone...
The enemy is simultaneously weak and strong. Yep.
All these top people...
For those who don't know, that is a aspect of fascism.
Who are making the move...
At least according to fascism.
The people, you know, the puppet masters pulling all the puppet strings. They're all about themselves. They don't want to humble themselves and be like, all right, let's collectively put all our ideas together and find out which idea is the best, and then we'll go with that. It's like, I want to make the move. I want the power. I want to defeat him. My ego. That's horrible for cooperation. So, we're really...
The irony that he's describing Trump kind of in this, like, ego getting in the way of the best laid plans.
Looking at a dumb team that is experiencing adrenochrome withdrawals, who is full of dementia, a lot of them, who are not cooperating correctly, who have been completely blindsided. And then take into account one more thing. They thought they were going to win in 2016. So their strategy, the amount of time that they've had to plan, has been...
Peter has not reacted to any of the January 6th hearings that I've seen. I think he posts on Truth Social, though, and I don't have that and don't plan on getting it. So I have no way of seeing it.
4 years. That's not very long. 4 years? 4 years to plan with their weak, dumb team to strategize to beat Trump? I wouldn't bet money on them. They don't have the...
You'd lose that bet.
Time, they don't...
Of course, this is all within what he thinks anyway, which isn't true in the first place, but if by I wouldn't put money on it, then he means I'd put money on Trump getting inaugurated. Yeah, he's wrong.
Have the smart people, they don't have any powerful tool, they don't have the ability to put their egos aside. If you actually think Trump is going to get defeated by them, then I don't think you understand what resources Trump has on his side. First of all, what is Trump's trump card? Other than the fact that he has a quantum computer, he has God on his side. The most powerful being in
I have the power of God and a quantum computer on my side. What do you have?
The universe, keeping him safe. He has over 100 million Americans, maybe 203 million people, 230 million people around the world, who are praying for Trump. How many people on the left are praying, because a lot of them are atheists and some are Satanists, how many of them are praying for Joe Biden's protection and
luckily, prayer doesn't work.
And praying for Team Satan to win. Now, there is power in prayer. There is a lot of power.
Studies have actually shown no, that it doesn't. There's no statistical difference, like when you pray for things. There was actually one study which was pretty funny, in which they had groups of, I think, like, late stage cancer patients, or it was like some sort of illness, and one group was prayed for and one group was not, and the group that was prayed for had statistically significant worse outcomes in their treatment. And I think part of that was that study, the patients knew they were being prayed for, so they thought that maybe the people being prayed for had some sort of extra stress because of that. I don't know, it was a whole thing.
So,
could have just been an anomaly, too, but it is interesting. Usually it's shown that there's no statistical difference between prayer. There's never been any observed effects of prayer with, like, actual evidence that this is abnormal.
Those people praying for Trump, and he is on God's side, that's huge right there. Add into the fact this quantum computer, which does exist, which is confirmed by Simon Parks, who is extremely reliable.
Peter later disavowed Simon Parks.
This quantum computer where...
I think after he got into Flat Earth, I'm not positive though. Simon Parks, not Peter.
He puts in data, right, into this quantum computer. The quantum computer is, people say, well, why doesn't he use the quantum computer? One commenter said, why doesn't he use the quantum computer to get his social media accounts back? Quantum computers are very good at one type of task. Possibilities. Predicting possibilities. That's what they're good at. From my understanding, I'm not sure if they're good at pretty much anything else.
When I had my discussions with Peter, it became very clear he doesn't know what quantum computers are. So he just hears the word quantum and he thinks it's magic.
Predicting possibilities, because this comes from the whole fact that a quantum computer is based on quantum physics, and quantum physics, a particle can be in infinite amount of places at the same time. In the same sense, a quantum computer can predict, from my understanding, possibly an infinite amount of different possibilities at the same time.
His understanding is incorrect.
Extremely powerful. Now, if you don't think Trump has a
quantum computer, for those who don't know, is a computer. Usually computers run on sort of like on-off switches, ones and zeros. But quantum computers have another kind of bit. So there's not just ones and zeros. There's what's called qubits, which stands for quantum bits. And they can exist in sort of a superposition, which allows for very specific kinds of calculations to be done more easily. The problem is quantum computers require, right now at least, very, very cold temperatures to run, so lots and lots and lots of energy. So they're not really practical for most purposes, and in fact, I don't think they actually have any benefit really in normal computing. They can be used for very specific calculations that benefit from having not just a yes and a no switch, but a maybe switch. I'm not any sort of authority on this, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I assure you, I know more than Peter on every topic. Siberian Winter says, on the subject of prayer,
I decided to look around for something else to worship, something I could really count on, and immediately I thought...
Copyright. Can't. Although I do like George Carlin, but I can't watch that whole clip. Honest Noir says, quantum computer bits would be more like 1, 0, and -1. Thank you for explaining that. I guess I misunderstood what I had it explained to me last time.
On a computer, add into the fact that, because someone would say, it was like, oh, Google, I work for Google, and Google has a quantum computer and it can't do much, so that means Trump doesn't have a quantum computer. I understand it's difficult to believe that Team Trump has built a quantum computer, and I don't think they have built a quantum computer. I think this quantum computer is extraterrestrial technology given to them by the aliens, which, by the way, the good aliens that are protecting Earth right now, they're on Team Trump too.
I have the power of God, aliens, and a quantum supercomputer on my side, Joe Biden. What do you have? Pictures of you eating ice cream?
We have the technology on our side. We have God on our side. We have genius aliens on our side.
Oh, wait, are they genius compared to humans, and they're just like normal aliens? Or are these, even amongst the aliens who are very smart, geniuses? Because I gotta be clear on that. Are they relatively average for aliens, or are they like the Stephen Hawking of aliens?
And by the way, these strategists that are working for Trump, thousands and thousands of them, they're geniuses too.
Trump famously very good at getting experts to give him advice that he then follows through on.
So we have the technology, we have God, we have geniuses. And then let's look at time. How much time?
This is just like a child justifying shit. Princess Amelia says, now I know it's hard to believe, but they built a quantum computer, so that's why I believe aliens gave it to them. Mike Max with 50 bits.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side!
Wait, Good vibes for that kid, wherever that kid is. Hope they're doing well.
Time has Trump had to strategize. This plan to defeat the deep state, this plan started after John F. Kennedy died. That's when. That's decades. That's several decades that they've been planning to take down the deep state. That's a long time to strategize with a quantum computer, with aliens, with geniuses, with God's protection and God's guidance and God's wisdom pouring.
Do the aliens also worship God and Jesus? Like, did the aliens also have a Jesus, but his name was like... And, like, they have a Bible that's written in their language, and they all worship, like... And, like, he's on a cross, but it's like a space cross. Like, how does this work, Peter?
Into these people. There is no way that Trump's gonna lose. That's why, even though Trump hasn't made any big moves yet, I mean, I think he'll make a big move in inauguration. That's what my previous video was about. Even though he hasn't made any big moves, my faith in Trump has never...
I like pie. Thanks for following. Says, been lurking for a bit, but I had to start following because this shit is crazy. Who the fuck is this? I have a playlist for you. Give me just a second. I have a YouTube channel where I've covered this guy at length. So let me get you the playlist. Hannah, reloaded. That's me. I'll get you the playlist because I have a whole playlist of just him. Oh, okay. I thought that was public for a second. I was like, my liked videos. The Peter Conspiracy Saga. This is a playlist with, I'm not fucking with you, 47 videos. So here are 47 videos of me covering Peter and or interviewing him, because I did interview him a couple times. Crazy shit.
Ever wavered.
This is an old video we're watching right now. This was 4 days before the inauguration. I just wanted as a comparison to see what his predictions were and how wrong he was. Kingdom Reborn, thanks for gifting us up.
Never went to, oh, there's a 99% chance Trump will win. It was always 100%. The only thing that could possibly happen that could make Trump lose is if Trump is actually an Illuminati member and there isn't a battle, they're just pretending to be battling, and he's gonna really, you know, backstab Americans, and he is.
Twist, after this, and after Trump did not get inaugurated back in 2021, Peter did not follow through on his belief here. He does not think Trump is in the Illuminati. I don't know what he thinks at this point. He doesn't post as much anymore. I think he's embarrassed. Which, you know, fair.
It's actually on the
King Trump on the bingo card, yes.
Evil people's side, and he's Team Satan too. That's the only scenario where we lose and Joe Biden becomes president. That's the only scenario. And honestly, I don't think Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, I don't think these people are good enough actors. I don't think Trump is a good enough actor because the hatred they have for Trump is very real. And Trump's big, beautiful heart, he's not perfect, but his big, beautiful heart is very apparent.
Is it?
He is guided by God. I know that for a fact. He's not on Team Satan. And that's the only scenario where we lose if he's on Team Satan. That's the only scenario. Because from a resource perspective, he's got all the resources, the geniuses, the technology, the aliens on his side, and all the time to plan decades and decades.
Gnome Pickles with 50 bits says, just so I can properly prepare myself, how much transphobic, homophobic crap does he spout in your interview with him? Because I have a weak stomach for that crap nowadays. Not really any, actually. There was, at the beginning of our first interview, there was like a brief thing about like my pronouns or something, if I remember correctly. He was like, what do I call you or something? But there was no transphobic issue. He was fine. He was polite. He was crazy, but he was polite. So they're good interviews. I'd recommend them.
In decades of planning, based on what I...
Bittergrin says, if Donald Trump is doing God's will, hail Satan. Agreed.
Researched this takeover the deep state. They are literally multiple steps ahead of the deep state. Multiple steps ahead.
Literally multiple.
If the deep state does this, we have this. If they do this, we have this. If this. This is how, even if you don't believe in the quantum computer, believe me when I tell you that every single action that these deep state people want to do, that China want to do, all these Team Satan people wanted to do, they have a counter for all of them. And there's no plan that they could come up with that Trump's like caught off guard. Like, oh, I didn't...
How many subs have you donated? Just one. I don't think that's the leaderboard anymore. I think they changed it so that just shows the most recent donations and stuff. I know, I was confused too when they changed it, because it used to be at the top of the chat was the top donos, but I think it's just most recent now. Could be wrong. Okie Dad says, or maybe it's just like the most recent in a certain period of time. I don't know. They changed it. That's what I know. You can cycle it to see the top. Okay. Interesting. Okie Dad says, part of me really wants intelligent ETs to exist because there's no way humanity is as good as it gets in the universe. I hope not. Especially with the James Webb stuff. It makes me hopeful that even though we might have fucked up as a species, maybe irrevocably, I hope not. I hope humans keep going, you know? Humans are fucky, but I like us for the most part, you know? I think we have a lot of potential. But, like, at minimum, if we crash and burn and destroy our ecosystem to this point that it can no longer support us and we all die out, there's probably some other species out there in the universe doing a lot better, so that's fine.
Plan for this. These people are very predictable. Very predictable.
You saw your 200 gift badge? I mean, if you got it, you got it. That means you've gifted 200 over time.
So he knew all their moves because he has the best resource, best intelligence on his side. He knew all their moves years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2 decades ago he knew all their moves and knew they were going to do all these things. He has them trapped in a corner. Now, if you're still thinking, well, I'm losing faith and I think that Trump could lose.
This guy comment says, please let the doctor be real. Wouldn't that be nice?
How do the Democrats feel? Are they losing faith in Joe Biden?
I never liked Joe Biden. I've made that clear the entire time. But, you know, better than Trump.
If Joe Biden won, he's about to be inaugurated, why are they literally trying to impeach him really quickly to take away his power? What are they so afraid of?
This was after January 6th, to be clear, that Peter is asking the question, why are they trying to impeach Trump?
Oh.
First name bunch of numbers says, corvids and cetaceans are out there just waiting for their opportunity to evolve thumbs and take over, and I wish them well. Me too.
Oh, maybe they're afraid that he's the most powerful person on the planet right now, with more...
Oh yeah, this was after the 6th. This was 4 days before the inauguration, so it had been 10 days since... like a week and a half. It had been about a week and a half since January 6th, and he is asking this.
Legal power to destroy the deep state than anyone's ever had in history. Maybe that's why they're trying to impeach him and take his power away. If Joe Biden had won, they'd all be sitting back, relaxing. Don't impeach Trump. Waste of time. We won. It's all good. They're panicking. They're freaking out. The Democrats just introduced a bill to ban Trump from ever entering the Capitol. Does this sound like a team that thinks they're winning? No. This sounds like a team that knows they have already lost and they are freaking out. They're anxious. They're depressed. They're doing everything. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink of Trump. If Trump has lost, why are they throwing everything at him? Why are they so scared? Because they know it's game over. They know it's lost. They don't know how it's going to happen because Trump never telegraphs his moves. But they know their days are numbered. And they know what happens when you commit treason, what the penalty is. That's the penalty.
Peter wants to kill his enemies so badly.
Trump didn't become someone who totally rebuilt Guantanamo Bay and expanded it, I think, times 3 or 4 times to accept a whole bunch of prisoners and to make all these military tribunals. He didn't put 2.5 trillion, about that much, into the military. He didn't do these.
Did Tate get diagnosed with depression? Let me look. Andrew Tate, never ever take an antidepressant or some other bullshit mind-altering drug in an attempt to hide from the certainties of a painful life. Sadness is universal. A constant's here to say, I embrace it, give it all to me, all of it, I manifest it into power. I don't think so. I think he's just shitting on antidepressants. Because in order to be diagnosed with depression, Andrew Tate would have to be vulnerable enough to go to a doctor and say, I don't feel good. And I don't think he's capable of doing that.
These things and expect to lose.
Is Peter's confidence interval when he makes those weird percentages? Yes, you can mark that off.
He didn't put in all these Republican judges.
Does this count as FBI? This is a threat on the bingo card? Yes.
And then he thinks he's gonna lose? There are so many signs that Trump is winning. Now, if you're just looking at the moves that Trump has made, it's easy to lose faith. But remember, God is on Trump's side. He is a fighter, one of the greatest fighters in history. And honestly speaking, Trump has not thrown one big blow right now. He's throwing little pokes here and there, saying negative stuff about people, arresting 2 or 3 high-profile people like Jeffrey Epstein or Maxwell or Weinstein. He
wished Maxwell well after she was arrested. What?
He's done a little bit of poking at the deep state.
Nah, not
show me this
coup.
big move Trump has done. Where is this big blow he's done? He hasn't. The deep state is panicking, freaking out, throwing everything at Trump, and Trump hasn't even thrown one big blow, not one punch at them yet. Not one. And they're freaking out. I wonder how they're going to react when Trump actually starts dropping some punches on them. That'll be interesting to watch. Now, in my previous video, I said I think it's very, very likely, over 90% likely, that Trump will make a big move this inauguration. It makes sense to me. I could be wrong. It may be an obvious move that's so obvious that Trump can't do it. But, as Q said many times, these people are stupid.
Sorry, I was just checking something. My stream counter for how many people are here is broken, so I had to check it on the website, because I was like, it seems like there's a lot fewer people than are usually here for Tinfoil streams, but the chat seems normal. It was just my thing telling me there were fewer viewers than there were.
If they all go to Joe's inauguration, you know what's going to happen. One of my commenters, and I love you guys, you're always feeding me good information, said that there was
always
15 or 20,000 National Guards in D.C. There's 30,000. Oh.
They're there because of January 6th, Peter, you stupid bitch! Why are all these National Guard people in Washington, D.C.? A bunch of people broke into Congress and tried to kill him, Peter! A week ago!
30,000. A little odd, right? A little odd. And in the theory, you know, people are saying, well, it's because we got to protect the Democrats because the extreme right is so dangerous and they're terrorists. No.
1 sec, I gotta check a link. Thanks for the conspiracy link, I'll check it out later.
Trump is trapping them. That's what I believe is going to be his checkmate, big move, this inauguration. He is trapping them, surrounding them by 30,000 National Guard.
Oh yeah, this is an old video. This is from 4 days before the inauguration.
I'll be shocked if he doesn't make a move then. That is the best moment. So, when will I lose hope? If it's April and Joe Biden is legally president and the military is backing him and he's dropping executive orders all over the place, okay, then I'll lose hope.
He did not, in fact, lose hope. He's still crazy.
But just because things don't appear like we're winning, that does not mean we're losing. The fact that
it's almost August, a year after this. He was saying in April of 2021.
Trump is so confident in his strategy that he hasn't even dropped one big punch on them yet. And
has he been watching the January 6th hearings? I would guess not. I'm not sure, though.
So confident that that is okay, that that's a good strategy. He is confident for a reason. He could have done a lot more arrests. He could have done a lot more things right now. But he's so confident that his strategy is going to work that he has sat back and said,
Trump is doing so little, it proves he must be doing something.
No, we don't need to do any big moves right now. I don't need
His church forbade its members from watching. Shocking.
to throw one punch yet. Nope. Even though the inauguration is in a few days, I don't need to
Wait, why are we banning 907 Alaska? 907 Alaska is literally just posting more conspiracy links. Did 907 Alaska do something else? Like, it's a conspiracy stream, guys. People are allowed to send me stuff. I just won't watch it on that stream.
Throw a single punch at... Nope. Because my strategy is going to work. It's the least destructive. It's the best strategy ever. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm going to spend a lot of time in the comment section today. I love going in the comment section. The questions you guys have are very smart. The information you feed me, and sometimes there's like geniuses that just drop a bunch of truth bombs and like, whoa, I love you commenters. You guys are the best. Or just do a shout out. Just say hi, whatever. I want to hear from you guys. I want to connect with you guys. Honestly, I was a little depressed, a little bit sad about losing money, betting that Trump would be inaugurated.
I forgot he bet. Peter loses so much fucking money. Did I already watch Illuminati's video on Peter's church? Yes. Yes, I did.
And I had to take my bet out.
So Peter lost money on that, and then later he also bought into Donald Trump's social media company, whose stock ticker is DWAC. Oh, it's down more after hours today. Great. DWAC is the Trump social media, and he bought when I think it was 60, and it's you can't see right now, but it's down to 30. So if he did get in what I think he did in terms of this stock, he lost half of whatever money he put into it, depending on if he still has it or if he sold. Honest Noir says, where does he get this money to keep losing? His wife has a job, so probably his wife. Peter's a stay-at-home dad, which is fine.
Which means I lost some money. And it's not because I didn't think Trump would win, it's because I'm not sure he'll win this month. The theory goes that he'll probably be inaugurated later. And my bet was based on Trump being inaugurated this month, which I think is 50-50 right now. 50% chance Trump will be inaugurated this month. And I don't want to I prefer to take my money out. And so I was just a little depressed about that. But I love you guys. Like,
the podcast,
you feel like family to me, my community, my friends. And you cheer me up so much. You make me so happy. So definitely comment in the comment section. And I really want...
Peter does have a wife. He's in a cult that has arranged marriages, so he has an arranged marriage.
To apologize to everyone.
He's in a cult in Pennsylvania.
For the hair that...
I'm not kidding. I'm not being like, oh, it's a cult. No, it's a cult. It's a... You want to see him? Gun cult. Gun cult. So this is what they wear to church. The cult that he's in. Honest Noir says it's a capital C cult. Yeah, they wear crowns and they bring their rifles to church. They have bullet crowns too. They do arranged marriages. It's a whole thing. Yeah. We've watched some Vice documentaries on them. It's pretty interesting. Weirdly, Peter is part of this church, but I've never seen him in the photos.
As on the right side of my face. I put 6 gobs of hair wax on it. It will not stand down. And honestly, I'm going to give up on the hair gel. I'm trying to look professional. But the hair over here will not stand down. And honestly, I look like a...
Does Peter shoot guns himself? I'd imagine. I don't know if he does it like of his own volition, but growing up in this church, there's no way he didn't.
dork. And I'm trying to look professional. I don't want to look like a dork. So I'm just going to do away with the hair gel until my hair gets a little longer. That's why I got this weird thing going on here. It's like sticking out. Anyway, just letting you know, I am socially aware. I'm aware that I look like a dork, but I tried putting the hair gel in, the hair wax in. I can't take it out now.
Hydrate! What? What do you mean you can't take it out? of Michael Scott shit is that you put hair gel in and you can't figure out how to unget it in your hair? You gotta take a shower, Peter. Go fucking shampoo your hair, you weirdo.
Anyway, I got some great videos coming up.
You know what? Maybe Peter doesn't have shampoo. He's so concerned about, like, oh, people putting chemicals on him and stuff. Like, maybe he thinks shampoo is deep state control.
Please subscribe. Click on the subscription button on the bottom right corner of the screen. Let's see if I can touch it with my finger. Am I touching?
Oh! Stop poking me, Peter. I don't like it.
The subscription button on the bottom of the screen. Somewhere here, a little red button with a triangle that says subscribe. Subscribe because we are in the biggest battle between God and Satan in history, and our health is in danger. Our lives are in danger. And
oh no. 907 Alaska, you're not actually a conspiracy theorist, are you? If you are, do you want to talk to me? Do you want to come on and talk?
Most importantly, our spirituality is in danger. These things are under attack. Because we're in a war, a big war. Biggest war in history. Human history, at least.
Peter 100% has hemp shampoo? Probably.
The information from my videos is here to keep you calm, to keep you educated and healthy, to keep you protected, to warn you of future events.
Chitara with 7 months says, gasp, a Peter video. What a great way to celebrate a sub-anniversary. Thank you very much. I give someone the benefit of the doubt and they're crazy. Probably. They haven't responded yet, but I'm guessing.
That could be dangerous. Because my role is to protect you guys, heal you guys, calm you guys down. And ultimately I do want to help connect you guys to God, because now more than ever, you need to start reconsidering if God exists. I was an atheist. I'm not like some hardcore believer. I was an atheist for
No, he wasn't. He literally grew up in this cult church.
a while. But the fact is, God is real, and we're all sinners, and we need to repent and connect to God. So on that note, I'm just going to say one quick prayer, and then I'll end this video. Dear Heavenly Father, please protect my viewers, keep them healthy, safe, and sane. Please guide me to put out the best information to really help my viewers who have been extremely supportive and good to me. And please protect all the patriots and good people around the world that are fighting this battle between you and Satan. Guide us, fill us with your love and your guidance and your heart and your courage to defeat the evil, so that we can enter the golden age. The golden age that is coming. Thank you so much for all your blessings. Amen. All right, everyone.
Radiology says, OMG, Hannah is on, clicks the stream. Oh my god, she's watching Peter. You just missed it.
Thank you so much. And as always...
No, a lot of religious people, I think, feel like it's okay to lie and say they were an atheist because it's in the service of bringing people to God or whatever. It's pretty funny. Because you try and talk to them about it, and then it's clear they were not an atheist because they had none of the like thoughts you have when you're an atheist. It's very weird. 907 Alaska, I believed in you, god damn it. Why did you have to be crazy? Alright, one more chance. If your next message isn't agreeing to talk to me, then I'm gonna ban you or have someone else ban you. So, yeah. Thanks for the content, though. I will check it out. I do like to debunk bullshit conspiracy contents, you know? Oh, they said they'd go on already? When? Oh, you need a link? Yep, go into the Discord and... Let me pull up Discord real quick. Go into the Discord and go into the Twitch waiting room. And we can have a discussion if you'd like. I'll give you a minute to see if you want to do that. I'll give like 3 more minutes because some people can't figure out. So let's watch something while we figure out if that person's gonna bitch out or not. There are rules, correct. No slurs, no anti-Semitism, no slurs, no anti-Semitism, no transphobia or homophobia. Those are basically the rules. Radiology says there will be a discussion, but only one of you is going to get bits for it. Thanks. If they show up, no one in the waiting room yet. One of the links he sent was pure anti-Semitism. Yeah, that's why I said it. Did he bitch out? He's not in the waiting room. And he's not in chat anymore that hold on. What was his fucking name? Oh, he's still here. I can see him. Go in the waiting room. Go in the waiting room. There! Is that the person? A Catherine Raven? Okay, hold on. Oh, they dipped out. No, oh no, that was you. Don't go in there if you're not the guy. Alright, you got like another minute before I give up on you. Oh, it's okay. Is this just gonna be another conspiracy bitch who likes to spread bullshit but doesn't want to actually talk to someone and back it up? They're doing it? What's taking so long? No? Okay. Well, let me know if you change your mind and dip in. Laria Dacey says, I usually watch on YouTube, but I decided to try and catch you live for a change. Nice. Welcome, welcome. You read your Bible 3 times a day? What does it have to do with anything? You done? You're not going to do it? Because we're going to ban you then if you're not going to do it. Yes? No? Gonna guess no. Moving on. If they post anything else, my perception of time is weird. They haven't even said they're definitely doing it. Getting rude to newcomers? Objectively anti-Semitic ones? Yeah.
World War I officially began on June 28, 1914, when members of the Illuminati Black Hand secret society assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Wow, that's quite a claim.
Europe quickly polarized and warred for nearly a year before Americans were given their false flag reason to join.
Radiology says, my disappointment can only be soothed by giving bits. Thank you.
On May 1st...
You'll look and lurk and see what happens. Fucking coward. You're gonna come and spread a bunch of fucking bullshit and then not defend it? I'm channeling Jake a little bit here unintentionally, but like, really? That's your fucking play? Here's a bunch of bullshit from an unrecognizable website, but then I'm not gonna do anything when you want to be questioned about it?
1915. The British naval cruiser Lusitania was scheduled for Liverpool.
Gitara says, if the Alaska person truly believed in what they're saying, then they'd argue their case. Some, quote, patriot they turned out to be. Alaska 67, I'll have you know, how many men have laid down their lives for your freedoms, and you won't even come on a Discord chat?
Taking off from New York Harbor, loaded with 600 tons of explosives, 6 million pounds of ammunition, 1,248 cases of shrapnel shells, other
Okie Dad says it's on the internet, Alaska's links, so obviously it's for reals true, you guys.
war materials, and last but not least, American passengers. The German embassy in D.C. was fully aware of the war materials being shipped into England on the Lusitania, and tried to warn the American travelers. German embassy officials attempted to place full-page ads in 50 U.S. newspapers reading, "Notice, travelers intending to embark on the Atlantic voyage are reminded that a state of war exists between Germany and her allies and Great Britain and her allies. Travelers sailing in the war zone on ships of Great Britain do so at their own risk." Due to actions taken by the U.S. State Department, 49 of those 50 newspapers never ran the ad. Gary Allen wrote, "The same crowd which manipulated the
Capitalists gonna capitalist.
passage of the income tax and the Federal Reserve System wanted America in the war. J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Colonel House, Jacob Schiff, Paul Warburg, and the rest of the Jekyll Island conspirators were all deeply involved in getting us involved. Many of these financiers had loaned England large sums of money. In fact, J.P. Morgan and Company served as British financial agents in this country during World War.
Banned after another link, yeah. Either you can't just sit here and spam links. Like, if you're not gonna fucking defend it, fuck off. Are you kidding me? 67. I'm wondering if the 67 in your name is the year you were born. I hope it is. That means... Nope! Can't say that! Ah! Nope! I'm in all sorts of bad... Nope! Give me a sec. Woo! I do not like... I hate conspiracy theorists who are, like, anti-Semitic and shit. It's the worst kind. We're fine. We're fine. Back to the thing.
War I. The German government took out large ads in all the New York papers, warning potential passengers that the ship was carrying munitions and telling them not to cross the Atlantic on it. Yet the sinking of the Lusitania was used by clever propagandists to portray the Germans as inhuman slaughterers of innocents. Submarine warfare was manufactured into a cause célèbre to push us into war.
What? Did he just say submarine warfare was invented to get America into World War II? Or World War I, rather? Sky Comet says, wow, all old white guys in power. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Midday, May 7th, off the coast of Ireland, the Lusitania was ordered to reduce speed, and Juno, its British military escort vessel, was ordered to withdraw. Committee of 300, 33rd degree Freemason, and Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill, knew German U-boats were in the vicinity and purposely called off Juno, leaving the Lusitania a sitting duck. Jim Mars wrote, British Commander Joseph Kenworthy, on duty when the ship was sunk, later revealed that her military escort was withdrawn at the last minute, and her captain ordered to enter at reduced speed an area where a German U-boat was known to be operating. it is clear why Germany attacked this ship, and Britain would have done the same if
Not
U.S.
Nazis,
munitions
it's World
were
War
being
I.
shipped to Germany.
Not Nazis.
The Germans, whose torpedo struck the liner, were the unwitting
This is about the sinking of the Lusitania, the event that got... did it get the United States into the war, I think?
accomplices, or victims, of a plot probably concocted by Winston Churchill. Fritz Springmeier wrote, "The Lusitania was a ploy. It was packed with some Morgan-owned ammunition, had been given over to England as a member of the Navy, and despite the warnings of the Germans, was sent into a naval war zone, specifically to be a target, the catalyst for America's entrance into the war. Churchill ordered the Lusitania's naval escort to return to port, and the fated ship was left unprotected to be sunk. Rothschild agent Colonel House probably knew of this plot. Records point to a discussion of it between him and Sir Edward Grey of England. Historian Colin Simpson called the sinking of the Lusitania, quote, the foulest act of willful murder ever committed on the seas. Churchill's fellow Committee of 300 member, CFR founder, and Rothschild agent Colonel Mandell House was also President Wilson's top political advisor. Wilson said, "Mr. House is my second personality. He is my independent self. His thoughts and mine are one. If I were in his place, I would just do as he suggested." This is a man who has also been called the Henry Kissinger of his day. In the book The Intimate Papers of Colonel House is a conversation recorded between Colonel House and the Foreign Secretary of England, Sir Edward Grey. Grey asked, "What will America do if the Germans sink an ocean liner with American passengers on board?" And House answered, "I believe that a flame of indignation would sweep the United States, and that by itself would be sufficient to carry us into the war." Just as luck would have it, that is exactly what happened. Around 1,200 were killed, including 128 Americans. This act set off a firestorm of anti-German feeling throughout the United States, fanned by the Rockefeller-Morgan-dominated press. So Illuminati Morgan-owned ammunition was loaded on a ship with
Illuminati isn't real!
American passengers. Committee of 300 and 33rd degree Mason Winston Churchill ordered off the ship's military escort, knowing German U-boats were standing by. Then the Rockefeller-Morgan-dominated U.S. press helped stir anti-German sentiment until the people were sufficiently propagandized to enter the war. President Woodrow Wilson, like Winston Churchill, the Morgans, and Rockefellers, knew of the Lusitania's pre-planned fate, and he knew the decision to sink it was out of his hands. Colin Simpson wrote, "There can be no doubt that President Wilson was told of the character of the cargo destined for the Lusitania. He did nothing, but was to concede on the day he was told of her sinking that his foreknowledge had given him many sleepless hours." Gary Allen wrote, "Woodrow Wilson was re-elected by a hair. He had based his campaign on the slogan, 'He kept us out of war.' Just 5 months later, we were in it. The same crowd which manipulated the passage of the income tax and the Federal Reserve System wanted America in the war. J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Colonel House, Jacob Schiff, Paul Warburg, and the rest of the Jekyll Island conspirators were all deeply involved. World War I was a financial bonanza for the international bankers, but it was a catastrophe of such magnitude for the United States that few even today grasp its importance.
We'll check the bingo
The
card
war
in a sec.
reversed our traditional foreign policy of non-involvement, and we have been enmeshed almost constantly ever since in perpetual wars for perpetual peace. Winston Churchill once observed that all nations would have been better off had the U.S. minded its own business. Had we done so, he said, quote, "Peace would have been made with Germany, and there would have been no collapse in Russia leading to communism, no breakdown of government in Italy followed by fascism, and Nazism never would have gained ascendancy in Germany."
Nazism as we know it might not have existed, but fascism as a concept I think was inevitable in the 20th century at some point, especially at any point where there was a desperate country in economic downturn. I think at that point in industrialization and mass communication, fascism just became inevitable because of how humans are, unfortunately. Rachology says, hey guys, I've got this great plan. Let's set up a ship so it might get sunk if it's in the right place at the right time, if there's an enemy sub whose movements we can't predict in the right spot, and if the U-boat captain decides to fire on it and it hits in such a way that there are massive casualties. Finally, we hope it sways a democratic country to go to war. Foolproof. Okie Dad with 600 bits says, I'm just here to kick ass and give bits to become the stream boss, and I'm all out of ass. And you do become the stream boss. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Adrenochrome. Fluoride. Peter's confidence interval. Believe sci-fi tech actually exists. King Trump. Flat Earth. Q claimed as a source. The deep state. Public health measures compared to the Holocaust for the New Zealand anti-vaxxer earlier. Aliens. Wow, we've gotten a lot. I think that's it. Gitara with 50 bits says, so the guy seriously trying to imply that the sinking of the Lusitania was some type of psyop on the American people? I mean, sure, there was American propaganda surrounding the ship and the victims that died during the sinking, but that was after the ship sank. It was a passenger ship and there weren't any high ordnance explosives or anything of that sort on board. There was a small arms ammo on board, though, which wouldn't really justify U-boat sinking it. Rachology says, has no one come up with ass-flavored bubblegum yet? I have nothing else to add to this stream. Good night. I don't want to chew ass. We didn't watch CC today. You're thinking of Tuesday, probably. Or you're assuming we watched CC and you didn't know we didn't. Hey, it's that guy that thinks that there were giants. Sorry, titans. Basically kaiju. So let's find out why he thinks all the kaiju died.
What happened to them? Lying on their backs, suffocation by death before the creation of the dome by whoever created the dome, and what is the dome on this level?
Do I look into Queen of Canada lady? I've looked into her a couple times, but it's pretty sporadic. Like, I guess I'd have to find her on Telegram probably at this point. I think she's been banned from just about everywhere else.
Flat, non-spinning, non-curvature, non-curved water earth. Let's see the mountain. See, I'm just seeing a mountain, rock, nothing special. Do you see the nose and the chin and the face upwards and the eye trying to breathe? Don't worry, there's...
I need to put pareidolia as evidence on the bingo card.
70 plus pictures in this video. Actually double, because you know there's like horizontal and vertical. I'm just gonna try and do it as sweet and short as possible so you don't get bored. Can you see the difference? Can you see it when you see it horizontally or vertically? Usually when you see it horizontally you just see a bunch of hills and mountains. Let's see the vertical stuff. And eyes, nose, mouth. These are titans. The giants are ridiculous in comparison. Again, just a bunch of dead rocks, right? Why do you think they're...
Just a mountain, right? Well, look at this!
Dead rocks.
Those are mountains on their side.
Rocks, and in the big majority of cases, these are the mountains, the big mountains. I'll give you names afterward in the future. Why do you think nothing grows? The petrified corpse of a human titan, the same as with the petrified corpse of a tree titan. So if they have hexagonal shapes, they're trees. If they have the shape of a face, of a human face, they are titan humans.
score! Look at this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
In a world where, of course, if you had Titan trees, you had Titan humans. That's why our human species is only 2 centuries, maximum 3 centuries old, 200, 300 years. And the big majority of the forests, the big, huge forest ranges, like the forests in the world, are just approximately 200 years old. Can you see the difference here? Just see a mountain, and then you see the human face with the neck going downwards, the chin and the nose. The nose is easily spottable all the time.
Doodly Doo X says you're looking at 2D pictures of a 3D object. If it was a Titan, it would look like a face in 3D as well. Yeah, I don't know, that extra dimension, I think it's a little too much for him to understand.
You see it vertically. It's very difficult when you see it horizontally, but when you see it vertically, you just
Modern humans have been around for 200,000 years, what the fuck? That's what the scientists want you to believe.
Switch a picture because we live in a horizontal plane as per the features of our bodies. But if you take the picture and you flip it, voila. And it's always like that. The big majority of cases, it's the face upward as if they're trying to breathe. With the creation of the dome, which is of course made of an energy field, it's not glass or everything like that.
Of course. He's a flat earther.
The dome
He thinks there's a dome of energy around the flat earth keeping us in.
Changes the atmospheric conditions and the pressure inside here. You see the nose, it's always the nose. The nose gives it away. The nose of the Titan face, and then it goes from the
all these mountains, they have some kind of peak. It's kind of suspicious. Doesn't it look a little bit like a nose to you?
Chin downwards on the body. A bunch of dead rocks, of course. Petrified corpse of Titan. What would the height be? These petrified corpses are usually between 3 and 4 kilometers like tall. The height, sometimes more, sometimes less, but the average is between 3,000 and 4,000 meters. So they stand on their feet, and sometimes you see the mouth open, trying to breathe. Petrification, death by suffocation, and then probably petrified instantly. So the creators in plural, who are these guys who are capable of actually destroying the Titans, and who created the Titans in the first place? And was Adam, when he was first created, was he a Titan? Because people assume that, you know, our humanity is Adam and all the first human. Yeah, of course, maybe there was a first human definitely in our humanity, but what about the humans that came before us? Because these are humans, just bigger. You know, before us actually there was like giant humans, and these are Titan humans. So do you see the mountains differently now? If you look at them, oh, just a bunch of rocks with snow. Oh, a petrified corpse with the face fully visible. Again, look at the chin and the nose and the head. Some of them are actually, of course, better to be spotted, but it's always the nose. And if the feature of the nose...
Come on, that doesn't even look like a human head. Even pareidolia-wise, that looks more like a Homo erectus or something.
Is not completely visible. It's either like the lower part of the face that goes downwards from the chin and the neck, or the upper part with the forehead and the eyes. Again, just a bunch of dead rocks. And all of a sudden you see...
Aries Cornthier with 69 bits. Nice. Says, good news, my brake caliper wasn't seized and I saved $300, so have my bits. Sweet! Thank you.
Nose, mouth, wide open, and the face and the neck going downwards, and the chest. Again, just a bunch of lazy rocks. And oh, nose, chin, beard. It's just amazing. Let's move. This one is like actually the full version, the body. Smaller Titan, definitely, but still a Titan. Again, here, look at this. The mouth, the nose, and the head. Like I said, some of them are actually better spotted. Machu Picchu. When you see, look at Machu Picchu, which is super awesome, famous. Just Machu Picchu. Everybody knows Machu Picchu. Everybody knows it, or is it something else? And you're gonna say, oh, this is just pareidolia. Your brain is just making things up. Sure, of course. If it was only Machu Picchu and a couple of more pictures in the whole world, in the whole known world.
He really does not know how many fucking mountains exist in the world.
Because, you know,
look, I have hundreds of pictures of mountains that look like faces if I look at them the right way. Okay, there's a lot more than hundreds of mountains. It's gonna happen.
There's a bunch of other continents and the bottom of the oceans which we are not allowed to explore. But If it was just for Machu Picchu and a couple of more pictures, I would say, okay, yeah, I'm guilty because I live in a fantasy world of dragons and titans. But when you see only in this video, it's 70 plus pictures. If you just consider the pictures with...
That's not even as many as I thought. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying that he had hundreds of pictures. He only has 70? 70 in the whole world is what he has, and he's like, no, this is too many. There are millions of mountains in the world, fucko. Are you stupid?
Without being duplicate, because...
I don't normally call people fucko. I didn't like that.
For example, like in this case, you see the horizontal and then the vertical picture. Look at about perfect face. And it's always like that. It's always the face, the head, because that's what stands, right? Because if you see a human corpse, the head is the one that it's easier to spot. Again, if you look at it horizontally, nothing happens, and if you look at vertically, look at the nose and everything else. Nose everywhere. Look at this. This is in Africa.
Why is my Etsy recommendations full of smut? Has someone been using my Etsy account for... Because my last purchases were shoes, a bootleg of Freddy's Nightmares, some stickers, and now my Etsy front page is full of lewd.
By the way, I've shown you pictures from the Alps in America, from the Alps in Europe.
There's just under 1.2 million mountains? Nice.
From pictures in America and pictures in Africa as well. Look at the giant titan face. Middle of nowhere. Again, you just look at a peak and then you see the nose. Some noses are actually more uglier or prettier than others, depends. This one again, trying to breathe, chin upwards. So easy to spot. Again, the nose and the mouth and everything else. Again, the mouth and the nose and the chin and the neck. And yeah, this one again, big nose with mouth and eyes. This one again, here, this one actually has the mouth very open, nose and mouth very open. You see, when you look at it like that, it's just like a typical mountain. And then
I hate people so much. John Williams didn't die for this. No, he's still alive. He didn't die for this. Nope. Still copyright infringement. Nope.
So I get many comments asking, what about all the 19th century structures they tell us were built in just a few years? What about countries like Australia that had lower population numbers? I started volume 1 of LHFE with the premise that electric power tools were not invented until 1895, and this meant that much of the architecture we see in the 19th century photographs was a great impossibility. But it's not...
No, not impossible.
Correct. A year and a half later, I've done more research, both in archives and out and about, looking closely at these structures. It started with Liverpool Cathedral, but it didn't stop there. And what I will show you now should provide a lot of clarity as to what's going on with these structures that were put up very quickly in the 19th century.
Very quickly, air quotes.
This,
my research said not by a researcher, yeah.
This is a 19th century pumping station. On the outside, it's a nice building, but on the inside, it's a powerhouse. And now and then they open to the public so you can look at how it was all done back then. They don't use anything but the technology of the time. It's all run off coal, water and steam. Steam technology is very powerful. For the last year I've been going around looking at as many structures as possible, including the 19th century ones, and I realised something. We've spoken about how, with stone worked the traditional way, you can see traces of the chisel marks on the stone. The inconsistent...
We do not have Bible as the only source now.
...strokes show that it was carved and finished by hand.
Unless it's polished stone, which would get rid of those marks if afterward you know, sanded it down as... whatever. I'm not going to get into it.
Most of these 19th century structures, however, do not have these traces of the chisel used by hand. This is St Margaret's Church in Wales. It was constructed in 1860 and took 4 years from start to finish. Look closer at the masonry. Can you see it? Consistent, uniform markings. These are not the same markings we see on hand-carved stonemasonry.
They could have been using something other than just a typical hand chisel. Just because they might not have had something electric doesn't mean they didn't have something that was different than a hand chisel, like you're saying. Especially in this period of time, there was absolutely devices using, like, gears and shit. I'm sure you've seen them that can do all sorts of things. Precursors to power tools that used different mechanisms to increase one's ability to do work. I don't know if you guys have seen sort of like drills, but they have a crank on them. Stuff like that.
These are the markings of machine cut and finished stone. So I needed to know what machines. And this took me a while to find. Wikipedia was useless, but once I started looking in archives, I realized that there are so many old catalogues, journals, and accounts of the machinery they used. There are hundreds of pages
Oh! Well, there you go. You were right.
detailing these machines.
So they're like stone cutting machines powered by steam.
You can find old advertisements, patent details, and even photographs of abandoned machines. This is a catalogue from a company established in 1847, and it shows us that there were so many different types of stone cutters available, all a bit different, all belonging to different patents. Horizontal and circular sawing machines, marble and stone sawing frames.
Now I'm confused as to his point.
Stone.
Because he was saying they couldn't do this, but now he's literally showing the machines they used to do this?
Dressing machines. Stone surfacing and rubbing machines. Planing machines. Rotary quarriers.
Are you just gonna list them?
Chain drives to move the stone pieces from A to B. Production line plans with overhead cranes in place. These were powered by steam, and in the catalogue they come with different options for different stone sizes. But the most important machines I found were the stone moulding ones. These machines worked to templates and could cut the stone to the exact shape desired. You can see how they'd work here. This was specifically designed to mould this shape, and there were lots of different types. This is why there are no inconsistencies and little mistakes in the 19th century structures that were built in just a couple of years. Listen to what the catalogue says. The work is done not only a great deal faster, but much better than by hand. The lines are perfectly straight, the edges beautifully sharp, and if there are 100 pieces of one moulding to be worked, they will all be absolutely alike in section. A piece of stone 5 feet long can be cut from the rough and finished in an hour. This is how they did it at such pace, and why so many structures like this went up during the 19th century. With these machines cutting, moulding, and finishing the stone, it's no wonder these structures didn't take long to build. Not only that, but many 19th century edifices are facaded red brick structures. This would have reduced the construction time even.
Is this guy, like, debunking Tartaria stuff? Because that's fucking awesome.
More. And these machines are not just exclusive to cutting stone. There were hundreds of machines similar for working wood. And look, a variety of machine tunnelers. This is what these tunnelers were able to achieve. The Industrial Revolution went worldwide.
I was told Elon Musk was reinventing the tunnel industry, though. He sold flamethrowers and everything for it. So.
Wide. So they also have machines in Australia. They use them when constructing the General Post Office in Sydney. Look, rotating machines for polishing granite. The construction of this building, as I have learned, is not an impossibility. It's a machine-cut facade over metal framing. In 1870, Sydney had a population of roughly 200,000 people. Melbourne was even higher due to the gold rush. This is not just a handful of convicts, but more than enough population-wise to have a decent workforce to build these structures, especially with the aid of machine cutters. And I'm almost certain that Australia has a lot of hidden and corrupted history. I'm not saying it doesn't, and that we shouldn't be investigating it. My point is that I was naive to think that just because the Victorians rode around in horse and cart and did not have
So he's a conspiracy theorist who had a Tartarian conspiracy theory that he actually did research on and was like, oh, I was wrong. This is amazing. This is a conspiracy theorist, and to be clear, the rest of his channel, which is why I clicked this video, is him believing the Tartaria false history stuff, but apparently in this particular video, he had a hypothesis, he went out to study it, and he was like, I was wrong. My conspiracy theory was wrong. So, honestly, I'll give him some points for that. We have a conspiracy theorist that actually changed his mind when he looked into it and found he was wrong. So good for him. That's rare on this channel.
Electric power tools that they didn't build these structures. There is a lot more to the story, such as water and steam-powered industrial revolution machines. And also, when I really think about it, it makes no sense. The Tartarian hypothesis states that the narrative is a lie because there is no way the Victorians built some of these structures as fast as they tell us. Structures such as this one, and this one, and this one. But if they went to such an effort to stage and fake so many old photographs, like the hypothesis also claims, would it not just be easier to tell us that these buildings took longer to construct? Why would they lie about the photographs, but then give us the real construction time frame for these buildings? Looking at black and white photographs, while droning softly spoken soliloquies and asking a question here or there, in my opinion, is not research. It's speculation. And formulating a hypothesis from speculation without proper research means there is a risk of arguing from incredulity. And I know because I've done it. I don't think these structures were impossible for the Victorians anymore. It's all in the archives, and the stone itself is not lying. And it took me a long time to find these documents. It's not like the details about stone cutting machines are shoved down our throats. They've fallen into obscurity, but this information does exist, and these documents corroborate with what I'm seeing with the stone itself. They didn't have electric power tools, but powerful industrial revolution machines, running on water or steam, that meant they could build these structures in just a couple of years.
I'm honestly, like, so proud of this guy. I don't know him, but damn, good for him.
And that's good, because for me, it's another mystery solved, and I can focus on looking into other areas of hidden history and stop wasting my time.
He's so close.
Oh, and by the way, I also underestimated horsepower. Horses can pull very heavy loads, as I've come to learn. And some communities actually used to use horses to move home. And funnily enough, they still do it today. I have a lot more short videos like this to come, both on this topic and others, so keep an eye out. But I will also be putting something out explaining how debunking the Tartaria hypothesis is actually helping me work out where potential historical fabrication has occurred. Keep safe and well, and have a good day.
What an interesting guy. Let's do someone who thinks the James Webb Telescope is bullshit. The James Webb Telescope, which is really cool, I'm sure you've seen images from the news or whatever, is a new deep space telescope that NASA has put into space, and it's dope. Using it, they're able to get the images of the earliest stars that we've ever been able to see, also the furthest away. Very cool. And of course, people who don't think space exists aren't fans of it. So let's take a listen.
Today I'm looking at the James Webb Space Telescope, and what I'm going to show you is going to highlight...
It's a little quiet, right? Let me turn that up a little bit.
How ridiculous all of this space stuff really is. First up, we've got a short clip coming from a space fan claiming the James Webb Space Telescope absolutely destroys the flat Earth. Excuse me. Now, before we watch this short clip from the space fan, I'm going to simply just tell you what the flat Earth is from my stance. The flat Earth is simply demonstrable science that can be
incorrect,
tested and verified by all. The results of which prove the globe is scientifically impossible. That is the flat Earth. If you want maps, models, it's full exploration off the back of the scientific fact that the globe is impossible. Until then, I stand by the things that can be tested and verified by all, that prove the globe is impossible. That is the flat Earth. So already we know this guy, this nerd, who's going to be claiming the space telescope is destroying the flat Earth, is already had his mind warped and propagandized by the very people that have put this man in some sort of mainstream trance. And as we can see from the start of his video, he's got a domed frisbee on fire in the middle of a vacuum. I mean, who's ever met anyone, I should say, that stands by a domed frisbee with water coming off the edges while it hovers in a vacuum?
It's literally just an image making fun of you. You're looking way too far into it.
No one. But yet these people put this as their titles of their videos, their thumbnails. They have to put it there to justify their own idiocy and delusions. Not realizing that for anyone with the slightest bit of common sense, you can see the spellcraft at work here, as people have to misrepresent what is simply demonstrable science and portray it as an absurd cartoon fantasy. The very silly stuff that came from the people that told you live on a ball. They bought these globe believers.
He's a flat earther. What he's criticizing right now is he doesn't think space exists. So his issue is that... His issue is not that this is a flat Earth. His issue is that this is a picture of a flat Earth in space. He doesn't believe in space.
These space fans, they've bought into this extra product, this bit of propaganda.
He thinks all that exists is the Earth and the atmosphere, and it goes on forever. That's why he doesn't like this image. He is a flat earther.
This representation of what?
It doesn't float anywhere. They just think it's all that exists, except perhaps like heaven and hell. Like they think literally it's the Earth, goes on like forever, infinitely. At least some of them think it's infinite, with like some kind of dome over it, because that's mentioned in the Bible, and they don't think space exists.
Really is just demonstrable science. They've attached all these delusions and misrepresentations to it and bought into it. And as we're about to see, Matey Boy here is going to think images are going to refute demonstrable science. He's not really, because he can't compute it. His representation or his understanding.
You thought the boundary was Antarctica where the ice wall is? It depends on who you ask. They think the dome, some of them think the dome is just over what we think of as the whole world, you know, the continents we have and the oceans, and that beyond it the Earth still goes on forever, but we're just trapped in this area. It depends. Flat Earthers' beliefs vary depending on which kind of flat earther you're talking to. Exo Deadlock says, sorry for my silly countrymen. They're emboldened by us inflicting economic sanctions on ourselves because 52% of voters thought Brexit would keep brown people out of the UK. And now look how hard it is for you guys to go to France and Spain. Was it worth it? Dramatic Cuttlefish says he keeps saying Demonstrable science. I don't think it means what you think it means. Yeah, I don't think so either.
The flat earth has come from the mainstream media, which is just pure garbage. But let's have a look.
Well everyone, what a momentous week it's been. NASA has released one image that has strapped the bomb to and completely obliterated the flat Earth. Last week, NASA released the first images from the James Webb Space Telescope, and it is simply breathtaking. What you are looking at may seem massive, however this is but a tiny portion of the overall universe. But even in this one small patch of sky, we see thousands of galaxies, each of which contains billions of stars. The sheer magnitude is incalculable. Now, I hear a lot of people bandy around the word awesome, you know, for the likes of a nice cup of coffee or getting the new iPhone. But this image really is awesome in the sense that it inspires awe. It gets the mind racing with questions like, does anybody live here?
I'm going to pause it there for our space-loving friend here, who cites an image as somehow proof now that every scientific demonstration that can be tested and verified by all on this earth is wrong. Oh.
Doesn't understand how science works on the bingo card, because I don't think he understands how the scientific method works. Hello, love.
You look so cute.
Thank you.
Your image and your fantasies are great, mate. But they don't change the reality of the fact the globe's scientifically impossible.
It's not. It's not, actually.
Can you not see your faulty logic
Hello,
here,
everyone.
pal? Where you cite a fucking obvious computer-generated image.
Incredulity, as was stated in the last video, isn't an argument in and of itself. Why do you think it's computer-generated?
Of a fantasy world that no one can test and verify for themselves.
That's literally what the James Webb Telescope is for, is to gather evidence. It's what it is?
And you expect that now suddenly overrules what is the real flat earth, as I've stated, is real demonstrable science that can be tested and verified by all. The only thing your fantasy image actually...
When we go to Michael's, can we stop at Kroger, since it's right there? Cool.
...destroys is the imaginary flat earth that resides in your head.
If you don't want to go into Kroger, I can just go in. I just wanted to get something special for dinner. Okay.
Put there by the same...
I know.
...people giving you your...
Has he never looked through a telescope and seen one of the planets? Probably not. I don't think most people have.
...fantasy image. These people are entertaining all sorts of inner pantomime unnecessarily. The mainstream are having a laugh with these people.
Or was there a civilization that evolved here and they an intelligent species and are now gone? It boggles the mind. And it often makes me wish that I had studied something.
It boggles my mind that individuals, grown men, struggle to discern and think with any kind of logical train of thought here. They can't stand by demonstrable science that can be tested and verified by all. They abandon that for fear of going against the grain, simply because of an image and a collection of stories attached to lights in the sky. It's obviously CGI images.
Almost sounds like he's trying to convince himself there.
The globe's obviously scientifically impossible.
Again, this is just all incredulity. Like, why do you think that? Atheist Brony says, it boggles my mind the lengths flat earthers will go in order to feel special. Don't worry, you're already special though. Maybe not in the way you intended. And...
Not an opinion, a scientific fact proved daily. Where every single globe...
If that's the joke, I think it is. Little ableist.
...believer on this earth. But what I'm about to show you now is the absurdity of this telescope when we just break a couple of things down here. This man's bigging it all up, a huge success. Everything's incredible. This is amazing. But all he's shown us is an image, a slightly clearer image of what Hubble provided years and years ago. It's just...
It's not. It's actually a lot clearer, and also it can see way more.
An updated story with a little bit...
I believe it also sees a different spectrum of light. Not sure what the purpose of that is, if that's just what allows it to see further away, or what.
More clarity to add to the story. But like I said, as we're about to see, it's actually criminal. And people like this lad's here, naivety, are actually pushing a darker agenda. Bear with me. Here I've got 3 images on the screen. Starting on the left, Hubble, $9.6 billion.
Oh, this is really funny. The thing on the right. So on the left you have Hubble, right you have James Webb Space Telescope, and then there's a flat earther named Jenny, who is a ex-pro wrestler, who made this thing on the far right, and she's like, look, I did this with a free app. And it's like, yeah, but that's fake. That's not a real image. The James Webb Telescope is looking at real things. Your argument only works if I already don't think that NASA's real.
Since the launch. In the middle, we got the James Webb, the latest space telescope. $10 billion since launch, and bearing in mind it's not long been going. And on the right, we've got a TikToker called Jenny, who's provided an image here.
Okie Dad says the images from the James Webb Space Telescope make me... Copyright, can't play it. But...
for $0. And it's just as good. And of course, highlights the absurdity of these space telescopes.
Yeah, typo. Gems Webb. Kermit Cuttlefish says James Webb is infrared and near infrared, which copes with interstellar dust clouds and is also better for resolving planets. Cool.
They cost billions and billions of dollars, and yet all we get are CGI images.
They're not CGI. And secondly, what you and I get out of, for instance, looking at a Hubble telescope image or a James Webb telescope image is just a sense of awe, probably. Like, oh, wow, look at that. That's beautiful, and whatever. Scientists actually get information from these images that we don't get because they're trained in science, and I imagine they're also getting readings outside of purely the visual from the telescope that we not only don't have access to, but don't have the expertise to interpret. So, well, yes, for us, the public, it's just cool. For scientists, it's not just, ooh, pretty image, it's actual information that they're doing things with, and I don't know if he knows that? Does he think it's just for the picture? Gitara says, because the stuff is also really far away.
Ones that Jenny, in this instance, has done equally good at no cost. Yet the Hubble, 9.6 billion. The James Webb, 10 billion, and all it's going to do is provide imagery. But at what cost?
Incorrect.
Cost does that?
Doesn't just provide imagery. I don't know if you know this. NASA does not spend $10 billion so you can have a new cool phone wallpaper. They're getting information from this.
Come. So the latest figures according to Google, how many homeless in the US?
The colors in the images are often not accurate, but do convey information. I'm aware of that.
580,000 were homeless in the US on any given night. So now I divide 580,000 by $10 billion to get some kind of breakdown of how much the US taxpayer could have helped the homeless problem in the US.
Do the military budget next, or literally anything else.
It didn't fund this incredibly expensive
Also, that comes out to $17,000 per person.
$10 billion so-called space telescope to provide CGI images that a TikToker could provide.
Oil and corn subsidies.
For $0.
Yeah, the flat earthers are obsessed with NASA's budget, even though NASA, I think, has like 0.2 or 0.5% of the United States' national budget, roughly. Less than 0.5. Okay.
And it turns out when we break it down, every single homeless person in the US could have got $17,241 to turn their lives around if they hadn't.
America loves to give money to the poor, by the way. Just if I don't know if you know anything about America, Boy, does America and America's politicians love helping the poor.
$10 billion on this silly space telescope, which, bearing in mind, is coming from well-known liars, NASA, who claim the Earth is a ball, which of course is scientifically impossible anyway. So you're dealing with fraudsters, well-known liars anyway, and then you break it down with the cost of this space telescope.
Granite Cuttlefish says, and where the fuck does demonstrable science man think the $10 billion are spent? Mars? It's basically all spent in the US already. Yeah, that's a weird complaint I see about this, is, oh, they didn't put the $10 billion on the satellite and fucking shoot it in space. It paid employees of NASA and stuff.
Per head to the homeless in America. And you get a figure of $17,000. That would erase the homeless problem in the whole of the US by simply getting rid of that telescope and those silly CGI images, which can be recreated or even bettered for no dollars at all. Can you see how ridiculous all of this is now when you break that down? Let's see what we could get for $17,000 if we were homeless. 7 affordable
What does this have to do with anything?
camper vans under 20.
I don't think he had very good arguments, so I think now he's just like, well, if it was fake, here's what we could do with that money.
$25,000. We scroll down. A Chevy Astro conversion, second hand, price range between $2,000 and $10,000. Sleeps 2. So you'd still have $7,000 for food, fuel, training courses, clothing, turn your life around. What else we got? Dodge Grand Caravan conversion. Look at that. How much is that? 5 to 20, so you could get a cheap one of those. Sleeps 2 to 4 people.
Does he know, like, I think the statistic in the United States is 60% of homeless people are employed. Does he think homeless people just have nothing? Like, homelessness is not, like, this stereotype of just, like, being on the street and having no money. Like, it can be, but it's more complicated than that.
Obviously, the cheaper the better. That means the more fuel, food, and potentially something else. Training courses, clothing. And what else have we got? Any more? Ford Falcon 190, old school, between 6 and 12,000. Sleeps 4.
I like
still have
that,
another. Let's say it was at the top.
I like that his plan to do with this money is to buy 500,000 used vans and convert them for homeless people. Are there even 500,000 of these out there to buy and then convert? L. Dronder says, there's also this tendency I've noticed in social media that anything space-related is a waste of time and money that I don't see with other types of research. It's a bit disheartening. It is. El Monado says, most homeless live in California and New York. $17,000 is basically a month of rent. Polly has his cracker. Thanks for 7 months. Says, hey, it's a live stream. It is indeed. Almost on a hike
12 grand. You still have $5,000 to get some clothing, some fuel, some food, maybe even a training course. Essentially, erasing that telescope charade, you basically could erase the homeless problem in the whole of the US by using that money to get a direct result in helping humanity. I've just shown you they could get campers, training courses, clothing, enrolling.
It's interesting that he thinks this wouldn't require more than that, because, like, he's literally just doing, how many campers could I buy with this? Oh, it'd be $17,000 per individual homeless person, not understanding that you would have to have money in administrative functioning if you wanted to buy up this many vans, have them converted, etc. Like, that requires an administrative program to get that done, which costs money in and of itself. Not sure.
In a gym, one of these.
He thinks the telescope is fake, but they still spent money on the fake telescope, yeah. A lot of flat earthers think NASA's basically a giant money laundering scheme. They're wrong.
Gyms that are nationwide. where you could use their showers and use it as a motivator to train as well, by having a shower, train. You got your camper, your cooking facilities, a roof over your head, the money you've saved, training courses, clothing.
I also like, even in his like wild fantasy of actually helping people in the United States, his version of it is giving them cars to live in and not like, you know, building public housing or like rent subsidies. It's, here's a car you can live in. That's fun.
Several years back, I made a video exposing Billy Idol as being nothing more than a sellout to the satanic elite that run this world. And of course, those that run this world control every aspect of our society. And a huge aspect, of course, is television programming. Just like you see here in Toronto, Canada, with this Masonic Lodge. And
no, this isn't Call. This is Russian Vids. A friend of Call's.
What do you have here? MTV Studios within the lodge itself. And here's just a little bit of a close-up. So basically MTV's Masonic TV. And within the studio itself, you see in the background on the bricks for Freemasonry, the Masonic square and compass. And when it comes to MTV, programming at every angle, as you see here, when you get an award, an MTV Music Award, you get an astronaut. As you can see right here. And just goes to show how they're putting programming and entertainment. There's no wasted emotion when it comes to television programming. Now, getting back to Billy Idol, who I actually confronted on Twitter regarding all the satanic symbolism in his concerts, his album covers, just as you see here with the lightning bolt, just like you see here with Marilyn Manson incorporating the same exact lightning bolt. An important aspect.
Why are astronauts bad? He thinks NASA is a psyop.
When it comes to Billy,
so he doesn't think astronauts are real.
Billy Idol's lightning bolt is the incorporation with the crown, which they're basically putting a crown on their king, which is Satan. And this goes back.
Spurious symbology is evidence. Okie Dad says Zeus is satanic confirmed.
Of course, to Anton LaVey, the founder of the Satanic Church, who uses, of course, the lightning bolt within the upside down pentagram. Of course, Satanists like to flip things upside down. I'll get more into lightning bolt symbolism in my previous video, which I'll play a little bit later on. But nonetheless, let's get back to Billy Idol and this tweet response. Basically, when I expose all the symbolism that he uses in, again, his concerts, his album covers, and his response is the logo was for the King of Queens of the Underground album, thus the crown. The thunderbolt signifies the electricity and the excitement of the music that I have created in the pic, striking right now on stage. Nothing to do with Satanism.
So he literally got Billy Idol to respond to him and explain why his conspiracy bullshit was bullshit, and I'm assuming he's not gonna believe him.
He says, let's take a look here at the back of his album for, again, The Devil's Playground. And what do you see? Basically, the Masonic one-eyed god, which I call Polaris, also, of course, known as Lucifer himself. It's a video series I'm working on. I've concluded 3 parts of 4. The 4th part should be coming out rather soon. But again, Polaris is their one-eyed god, as you can see here on the ceiling of Masonic temples. They have the all-seeing eye, the eye in the sky. And again, when it comes down to it, with Billy Idol, and again, you can see here his response to me with all the symbolism. One thing I find interesting, which I played in my previous video, is at the conclusion of one of his music videos that he has on VHS tape from back in the 80s, at the very end, it says, Management, Demon Entertainment. Just like I showed in a previous video with TLC on stage, their very first performance on stage, and in the background it says, look who running things, and it's pointing directly to an eye. Of course, the all-seeing eye, just like I showed earlier with Billy Idol in the all-seeing eye. So there's no doubt whatsoever that obviously Billy Idol's lying.
Hannah's exasperated on the bingo card, yeah.
Specifically in this post on Twitter, claiming that his music has nothing to do with Satanism. Nothing could be further from the truth, and it's obvious through all the signs and symbols that I've shown that no doubt whatsoever. Billy Idol is just another satanic sellout on the world stage. And again, I'll play my previous video. I'll go into more detail on more signs and symbols and Satanism hidden in plain sight when it comes to Billy Idol.
Demand was the last name of his manager at the time. I assumed so.
Billy Idol. He's been in the music industry for many years, going back to the 70s, and he's still performing to this day.
Anti-Pretzel says, basically everything is Illuminati, Freemason, satanic, demonic, evil, and bad. Yeah.
First off, of course, the name Billy Idol. He was born William Broad. Just taking a look here at this one particular record album titled Flesh for Fantasy. What do you see here? Going back all the way to the 80s, doing the one-eye symbolism. Taking a look at this image here, the X symbolism. He was in a band called Generation X before he became the solo artist known as Billy Idol. Understand what this is really about. It's all about the occult of Skull and Bones. Skull.
Or the band was called Generation X or whatever, so he was making an X. Probably that one.
You got the bones. Take a look at this one video from the 80s called Hot in the City, and you see this female during the video on the cross being pulled up by chains. Of course, a complete mockery of Christ. And taking a look at this image right here, of course, Billy Idol with one arm over the cross, just more mockery. A more recent video called Plastic Jesus, where they have Jesus Christ playing a guitar. At one point in this music video, they have Jesus playing the air guitar. How obvious can it be?
That's not an air guitar. What? Jesus playing the air guitar? Jesus has a guitar there. Does this guy not know that air guitar is like when you do this? Like, this is an air guitar. Jesus has a guitar.
Be what's taking place. All of Hollywood, all of the music industry is controlled by the Satanists. One record album titled Devil's Playground. Take a look at this
complete mockery of Christ. It's 80% mockery at best. I'm sure we can mock Jesus far more effectively. Yeah, probably.
This is from...
They're being deliberately provocative. It doesn't mean they're Satanists. Yeah, they don't get that.
A concert in San Francisco, California in the Warfield back in August 2001. And you see this demon woman in the red and blue. This is all about Satanism. Point that out here with this particular...
I wish I was that hot demon lady.
Record album. Billy Idol, Hot in the City. You get the red and the blue, and I'll get into that. But first, I want to point out the cross again. This is, of course, a mockery of Christ's crucifixion. It talks about in the Bible. Do not
crucifixion, god damn.
Have any engraved images, and that's why you see so many artists in the music industry wearing crosses. Not because they believe in Christ. It's a form of mockery. Now let's take a look. Now getting back on topic with the red and blue symbolism.
Everything is satanic. Even the Christian imagery is satanic.
I mentioned before, the royal family are known as the Blue Bloods, and there's a reason for that. Take a look at Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 in the Bible.
Is he saying that the letters Billy are blue because of that? No, they're blue because they're inlaid in the word idol in red, and blue is striking against red. What?
Where it states Lucifer and his angels were thrown down to earth, how they mingle with female humans. Understand, fallen angels had the blue blood, just like the royal family, which are, of course, the seed of Satan. Just take a look at some of these images of these blue and red devils. It's all going to make sense that Manchester United, the soccer team, or better known as football in Europe, with the red and blue devils. Take a look at Billy Idol's cover for his one famous album called Rebel Yell, of course.
Yeah, the eye in Freemasonry is the eye of God.
Lucifer and his angels, they rebelled against God. This is what it's all about. Satanism in plain sight. Now taking a look at this one particular record album titled Eyes Without a Face, and when you see Billy Idol on his knees around a ring of fire, Just more satanic worship. The reference to the midnight hour, it's all going to make sense. Let me just play the clip first.
In the midnight hour, she cries more, more, more. Oh, does he not know that song is about fucking? Does he think that's about Satan?
Continue.
Oh, this one.
You just heard Madonna state, in the midnight,
Dude, this song is about sucking cock. You know that, right? I'm down on my knees, I'm gonna take you there. It's a song about sucking dick, you idiot. I like that song too, but it is a song about sucking a cock.
Just heard Madonna.
It's not about Satan.
State, in the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a prayer. She's not praying to God. She's talking about getting power from Satan. I'm going to play this clip from Billy Idol's video, titled Eyes Without a Face. You're going to see the same reference to the midnight hour, and I'll explain it after this very short clip, what this is all referring to. Take a listen, or take a look, actually, at this clip. There's no actual lyrics. This is the opener for his music video titled Eyes Without a Face. And it states, in the midnight hour. You see the purple symbolism. You see the bar symbolism as well. Now let's take a look at the actual reference to the midnight hour, what it all means, what it's all about. The modern literal meaning of midnight, the term witching hour, refers to time of night when creatures such as
I Fight for Them says it's a song about equality and justice, not sucking dicks. I always got a dick-sucking fucking vibe, like using a lot of religious imagery to vaguely discuss sex. Explain. Profane Priestess says, if sucking cock will give me power, I gotta get my boyfriend excited more. G-Tara says, imagine not being able to enjoy anything in modern pop culture because you think everything is satanic symbolism. Not even modern. This is like 80s Madonna. This is peak Madonna. So this person hasn't been able to enjoy pop culture for like 40-something years at least.
Witches, demons, and ghosts are thought to appear and to be at their most powerful in black magic, to be most effective. Understand one thing I want to point out as well with demons and ghosts. Basically, ghosts are demons. They're one and the same. People believe when the family members visit them, actually it's demons in disguise visiting people. This is pretty creepy stuff. And in the very same videos with the title of Eyes Without a Face, show this image here that played during the video. What do you see here? These women, 3 women. You see the red and blue symbolism. What do you see here? The as above, so below. As I mentioned before in previous videos, here with Britney Spears, as above, so below. Kanye West, all the same. This is all about symbolism when it comes to Satanism. I cannot tell you in plain words that they are Satanists. They show it by symbols. Those that understand the occult will understand what's taking place. Now, another reference to Billy Idol.
Leave Britney alone! I know. What was that person's name? I don't want to dead name her, because the person who did the Leave Britney Alone came out some years ago. I don't remember her name.
In Devil World.
Turned out she was right, though. We should have left Britney alone. She was getting fucking abused, so... Yes. Something Crocker. I know the old first name, but I don't want to say that person's dead name. Kara Cunningham? Is that her name now? Okay.
Worship. This is going to be pretty obvious to see that to those that know about the occult. Just look at this. This all
Change your last name as well. I get that. So did I. I didn't want my dad's last name. Atheist Brony says, for those new to the channel, I'll give you a quick guide on how to identify anything satanic. If it exists within the visible human light spectrum, it's proof of Satanism. True. Infrared, I'm a little sus of, too, if I'm being honest. Sky Comet says, dude, Satanists will admit to you outright that they're Satanists. Yeah, it's not a secret thing.
Album here is called Kings and Queens of the Underground. And the underground is a reference to hell, and I'll explain this.
No, it's not.
First off, let's take a look at this image. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to show more images and what this is all about. What this basically is a lightning bolt with a crown on top. And as I've stated many times, that those that own and control the music and movie industry know the Bible inside and out. To understand what's taking place, you have to know the Bible and the occult, these people that are behind the scenes. It states here in Luke chapter 10, verse 18, and this is Jesus stating, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. And just take a look at this image from outside lands in
Bible is the only source of wisdom on Bingo.
San Francisco, California. What do you see? Again, the lightning bolt symbolism. This represents Satan, and they put a crown on top of Satan. With all these fans that attend this concert.
Does anyone want... There we go. I knew it. Profane Priestess. I knew you were waiting for that one. Let me see your card.
And have no idea of the occultic meaning behind this. It's sad. This is how they love to mock in plain sight. When you watch the concert, you don't understand what is right in front of you. Again, it's all about mockery. Just more references to the lightning bolt representing Satan. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. My research only reveals sort of well. It's not how women work. Hello FBI, is this a threat? QAnon claimed as a source. Woo! Profane Priestess, you win. Would you like your sub now? Would you like your sub later? Would you like your sub gifted? Let me know. Probably now, but I gotta ask. Because I don't want to gift it and then you not want it. Where did that video go that we were watching a minute ago?
The founder of the Satanic Church in San Francisco, California, with Anton LaVey.
No, please, cool. Ah. Enjoy your gift sub. So that's the bingo winner of the day. We can still keep playing, though we're honestly about to close off the stream anyway. But, cool.
And what do you see? It's winning the up.
But that's the gift sub. MH Shark Beast says, howdy Hannah, looking great today. You see the new cartoon with Danny DeVito and his daughter? It's related.
Who's that girl? Those shoes should come with a content warning. What a waste.
New girl, say hi to the world.
The sky over a local junior high has torn open.
Mom, get in!
There's no more putting this off. Your dad is the devil, and you're the Antichrist.
I'm supposed to accept that you had sex with Satan or anyone?
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Come to your father, Damien.
Huh, you're a girl.
The future is female.
Pleased to meet you.
What?
Where have you been my whole life?
The metaphysical realm. It's not hell, but it's got the essentials. Hey, everybody. This is my daughter. Kiss her ass or I'll slaughter your children.
Proud of you!
When we dated, were you inside someone's corpse?
You had an unfinished dolphin tattoo. Don't be a snob.
She says I lied to protect you.
She sounds like a bitch.
That's what I said.
Hey, look at me. I'm bad grandma.
What do you make of this thing? Biblical or the media?
I like things the way they were.
Get your hands off my daughter.
Our daughter.
Oh, grief. My parents are here.
I'm a chicken now.
This party just got lame.
If my parents ever show up to a party, murder me.
Yeah, it might be okay. I like Danny DeVito. I do find it interesting that people are still casting him in new projects that are ongoing, though. Danny DeVito is a wonderful guy, but he's also an older guy. If I were starting a TV show, I'd be like, is this show gonna have to end early because Danny DeVito passes away because he's older? But hey, you know, whatever.
Upside down pentagram. You see right in the middle the lightning bolt, of course, like I stated, which represents Satan. Now let's take a look.
You done. One more video, maybe? Anyone want to watch one more before we call it a day? Should we do one more Peter video? That might be fun. Does he have a short one? This is him answering questions. I have to urinate real quick. I'll be back in just a second. I'll actually start playing it. I'll be back in a second. That's loud.
Days are just ahead. Debate and for voicing your opinions in the comment section. I really appreciate it. You guys have really helped me grow, become a better person, vet my sources.
This is an old video. This is from April 1st, 2021.
And do more research. So thank you so much for sharing your opinion. In this video, I'm going to be answering 15 of your questions/comments. And hopefully this answers a lot of the questions because I see questions keep coming up. And I'm happy to answer them with what I believe is the truth. So looking forward to sharing this video with you guys. My name is Peter Hanna. And this is Peter's Political Perspective. Click on the subscription button on the bottom right corner of the screen so you can stay updated on when my videos get posted, which are all about how Trump will be president this year and paid desert control and Trump commands the military. Quick note, the only date that I have gotten wrong was January 20th. That's the only date that I said there was a 100% chance that Trump would be president, January 20th. And I'll talk about that more in the end of the video. But that's the only date that I've gotten wrong when you think about it, and I'll explain why. Also, the main picture, what I've said that the Patriots are in control, Trump controls the military, Trump will be president this year. All three of those statements have been confirmed by General Flynn, Trump, and Mike Lindell, which are 100% credible individuals. In the big scheme of things, I have not been wrong with my main message. In fact, Trump, Mike Lindell, General Flynn have come out and confirmed my main message as being accurate. And anyway, so let's get into the comments. Lucas Chambers says, really, you draw the line at the flat earth theory. It's ridiculous, but no more ridiculous than the idea that Joe Biden is actually being played by Steve.
You've been asleep for 12 months. Is Trump president? Let me look it up. Who is the president of the U.S.? Looks like Joseph Biden is the president. Haven't done that bit in a while.
Martin. The whole idea that Hollywood actors are playing Kamala Harris and Biden, the only reason I believed it is because Team Trump did say we're watching a movie multiple times, and what makes a good movie, actors.
Atheist Brony says, if your sentence includes the phrase Mike Lindell confirms, you need to rethink your life. It's true.
I wasn't sure. I said he might be Steve Martin. I have no idea.
Oh, I forgot. Peter thought that Biden was secretly arrested and that the person that we have been seeing as Biden was the actor and comedian and virtuoso banjo player Steve Martin.
There's no way to tell who's playing Joe Biden. But yes, I draw the line at Flat Earth Theory because Majestic 12 was turned to the good side. Donald Trump joined them, and they used to be evil for over 90% of their existence. But then, as they were a collection of individuals, the majority of them became good, and they flipped to the good side. Majestic 12 had a Twitter account where he posted...
J.I. Loss says, you covered a new video of Peter's the other day, didn't you? What's he doing now? He's doing alt-health bullshit. Right now he's doing like an anti-vax thing that he's working on, and it's taking a while.
Around 30,000 tweets. I've vetted and read every single one of those tweets over the course of several years.
To be clear, later on, Peter was like, I was wrong, guys. Majestic 13's bullshit.
I think 3 years or something like that. And because I did this, Majestic 12 is one of only two sources that I've completely vetted. Majestic 12 on Twitter. And Majestic 12 told me anyone who's pushing the flat earth theory is a disinformation agent. That's why I believe that. Could I be wrong? Could Majestic 12 be wrong? It's possible. I'm not God. I don't know everything. But that's why I immediately discredit someone if they start pushing the flat earth theory. And some people are saying, is Ghost Azure really pushing the flat earth theory? Yes, he's been caught. Even recently talking about, one of his recent posts was the odds, something about the Earth spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. That's the argument he commonly makes about why the flat Earth theory makes sense, because if the Earth was spinning really fast, then we would all be shaken up or something like that. Which I reply, atmosphere. Anyway.
Peter is making fun of your conspiracy theory, you're fucked, right? And in fairness, Peter's explanation there wasn't really an explanation for the thing that the guy brought up. Peter's skepticism wasn't correct in why he thought, but he is correct that it isn't true, so... Yeah, even when he's right, he's wrong. Momentum, Peter. The answer is momentum and gravity.
I don't believe the flat earth theory. I could be wrong. I'm not God. I don't know everything. I'm 99% sure that the flat earth theory doesn't make sense. Have I done a bunch of research into it? No, I haven't. And if this opinion offends you, I'm sorry. That's just what I believe, but
The centrifugal force argument annoys me so much from flat earthers because they hear like 1,000 miles per hour and they think that's so fast. The Earth is huge. The Earth spinning at 1,000 miles an hour is not that fast, and it's not putting that much of a centrifugal force on you. Gravity is more than enough to keep you on the Earth. God damn.
I'm open to you guys debating me on that in the comment section. But yes, because Majestic 12 said that the flat Earth theory people are disinformation agents, that makes me discredit Ghost Ezra. Now, next question. Ariel says, I'm used to the left telling me that my eyes lie, but now the far right is telling me my eyes is lying. Sleepy Joe is not the real Sleepy Joe. There is a difference between the old Biden and new Biden. Yes, maybe our eyes are lying, but if you look closely, your eyes will tell you the truth, Ariel. Kane is a G says, you realize that even if there will be a coup d'etat, no international leader will recognize Trump as the president, right? There are other countries besides USA, Canada, and Mexico on the earth. You know that, right?
Stone Corval says, at least 95% of flat earth arguments can be answered with gravity or the earth is really, really, really big. Yeah, usually.
I know that there are countries on the planet Earth, and to answer your question about whether Trump will be recognized, right now Biden is not being recognized. People aren't making deals with him. He's not meeting with world leaders. So
this is in April 2021 where world leaders were trying not to be in person very much. They called each other and met over like Zoom. Not Zoom, but you know, their video calling thing. It's because of COVID, Peter.
If they're not recognizing Biden as president, then that's kind of insinuating that they're waiting to recognize somebody else. If Biden was going to be recognized as president, he would have already.
They did. He was already...
They just would have done it in the sense that they would start making trade deals with him. They would start making agreements with him. They would start meeting with him personally, and that hasn't happened. No, he's actually not met a single world leader, and the Biden administration says we won't meet physically a single world leader for the next 2-3 months.
Because of COVID, Peter. They expressly said that. Sky Comet says we need to do a stream where we just do a collection of Peter's greatest hits and nothing else. It'd be interesting. It's a shame a lot of his older stuff got removed because his first channel got banned.
So they're not recognizing him, which is a good sign that they'll recognize Trump. And if Trump commands the military and the entire government, Trump with his huge alpha mentality, with his army of supporters, I'm 100% confident he will be recognized. And they won't have a choice because he will be president by the end of this year for sure. Lazaro Ramos says, you're always changing your dates. Get serious. You're just trying to stay in the game. I'm not sure what game you're talking about. There are millions of Americans that are depressed, anxious, having panic attacks. Some of them are contemplating suicide. Some Republicans have committed suicide since Joe Biden became president. This is not a game to me. It's barely a business. If this was a business, I would have never said anything bad about anyone and said, I believe everyone. And they made a ton of money. This is a information center, a news source first. This is not a game. I am seriously, genuinely concerned with the mental well-being of millions of Republicans, and I'm trying to cheer them up based on the facts that General Flynn, Michael...
Chromatic Cuttlefish with 50 bits says, think about it this way. The only force you would feel results from the difference between traveling in a straight line at 1,000 miles per hour and steering around a curve the size of the Earth at 1,000 miles per hour. Since the Earth is really big, the resultant centrifugal acceleration is very small and less than gravitational acceleration by orders of magnitude.
Lindell and Trump have given out is not a game at all. I've only gotten January 20th wrong, and I only 100% January 20th. March 4th, I said there was a 30% chance. April 4th, I said there was a 15% chance. And as the days get closer to these dates and nothing big happens, the odds in my head keep going down. Like, right now, I think the odds
Peter, that's the point they're making, is you keep moving the goalposts.
of Trump being inaugurated April 4th right now are like 1%. So the odds go down. So if I say there's a very small chance something will happen this date, that doesn't mean, that actually means I'm right, in the sense that I'm saying, guys, the odds are low on this date.
If you keep saying there's a 30% of something happening, and it never happens, no matter how many times you say that, then you're wrong, Peter. Statistics are based on facts. Like, statistics are based on data, not just fucking feelings. I don't know if Peter knows how statistics works.
Don't have faith in it. That's very different than saying 100% believe he'll be inaugurated on
I'm so glad I had to take a statistics class in high school. Holy fucking shit.
April 4th. It's very different than, guys, the odds are very, very low. Don't get your hopes up, in my opinion. So I only 100% backed one date, January 20th. I did get that wrong. I did give a little bit of credit to March 4th and April 4th because Simon Parks was pushing them, but I don't trust Simon Parks anymore, and I'm sorry if that offends people, but he's gotten too much information wrong. And because I was trusting Simon Parks, who was getting information wrong, I gave credibility to these dates that really didn't deserve any or almost any credibility. So, next question.
Okie Dad with 50 bits says, as a psych graduate who loves stats, I can guarantee you Peter knows nothing of stats.
Sherry Henderson says, Peter, my fear question is, with all the damage being done in the U.S., how can the plan reverse anything? We're the greatest nation on the whole world. We're the only real God-based nation.
There are literal theocracies, Peter.
I think that I have an optimism bias, but there's so much ET technology. There's so many good aliens that are helping us. There's so many good people helping us. There's so many good people in the world. No matter how much damage happens in the next few months, we will recover, we will become stronger and greater than ever before. And if you don't believe me, that's literally Trump's message. Trump says, our brightest days are just ahead, we'll get better and stronger, and everything's going to be amazing. So the question really isn't, do you believe me that the damage should reverse?
Yeah, he said aliens. Peter not only believes in aliens, he believes they're working with Donald Trump to help him, and he also believes that he himself has been abducted by aliens at least 5 times.
But do you believe Trump? Because I'm just relaying Trump's message. James Henry says, can we afford to wait until August? Biden is ruining our country. Will anything be left by the time Trump takes over? I know it feels that way, and that's why I'm making these videos, to try to cheer people up. We are a strong country. The damage that is being caused is not as great as you think, and no matter what happens, we will be recovered, we'll get stronger. Trump has a ton of trump cards he hasn't played. We got AT technology, a new monetary system. He's got backing from so many good people. We will be able to fix our country and make it better than ever before. Like I said, this is Trump's message I'm relaying to you, so the question isn't, do you believe me that everything's going to be great and wonderful and the country's going to recover and have an amazing year? The question is, do you believe Trump? Because this is what Trump is saying, and I trust Trump 100%. So that's why I am confident everything's going to be wonderful and we'll recover and everything will be better than ever. SS says, I hope it's sooner than August. Creepy, Sleepy Joe will have our great country destroyed beyond repairable by that time. God bless. US,
It's the same question, basically.
Yes, again, this question does keep on coming up. Everything's going to be great, guys. I am totally confident that Trump will be able to heal the country and really lift us up to become the greatest country ever. So we don't have anything to worry about. And if Trump is confident everything's going to be amazing, and you trust Trump, then in my mind, why not be confident as Trump? Bob Yar says, when it doesn't happen in August, is the next date going to be Christmas? Just wondering. I'm not sure if this is a sarcastic comment or a trolling comment. The only 2 dates I have backed 100% are January 20th and this date, August. I backed January 20th because...
Chromatic Cuttlefish says, have you noticed that Trump is having an absolute meltdown now? Citizen Rupert seems to be backing DeSantis. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be doing great. Either way, we're fucked, but, you know, at least he's probably not having a good time.
Lynn Wood, who I believe to be 100% credible, backed January 20th. And so that's why I got that wrong. Now Mike Lindell is backing August, and I 100% trust Lindell, so now I think it's August. If I'm wrong and nothing happens by August, then I'm just going to stop putting dates out because it really seems to be upsetting people. Even if I say the odds are very low, something will happen, people say, you promised this would happen. I'm like, no, actually, I said the opposite. I said the odds are very low. Don't keep your expectations very high about this date. So if nothing happens in August, I'm not going to throw any more dates anymore. I don't want to anger people. But there are some people who do want to hear dates. Like if I was a viewer, I'd want to hear dates. Even if the person kept getting dates wrong, I would want to hear dates because dates give me hope. Snoopy.
He's literally just admitting that it has nothing to do with truth. It just makes him feel good.
Brown says, then why is our military allowing this invasion at our southern border? That is a great question, Snoopy. I don't have the answer. My best guess is that certain amount of bad things are being allowed to happen so that people can feel how bad a Biden presidency is. And once we, especially Democrats, feel how bad a Biden presidency is, then when Trump comes in, even the Democrats would be like, I'm glad, I've seen how bad it is, I'm glad you're back, Trump.
We're some time into the Biden presidency. No, I'd be fucking horrified if Trump came and did a coup. Even if it wasn't a coup, if there was another election and Trump was the nominee and Trump won against Biden, I'd be upset. Be like, that fucking sucks. I do not want Trump as the president again. I've sampled both presidencies. I prefer the Biden presidency. I don't like it, but I prefer it over Trump.
That's my theory. It could be wrong, but that's...
Could we get someone under 70? You know, I'm even... old people. I'm even giving you 60s here. Could we not have someone in their 70s?
That's where I'm at with that question. Juan Martinez says... Let me guess, trust the plan? Well, the real question is, do you trust Trump? Not me. I'm not saying, guys, trust me, trust me, trust me. I'm saying trust Trump, trust Mike Lindell, trust General Flynn. If you trust them, then you trust the plan. I trust them, so I trust the plan. You don't have to trust the plan. You can do whatever you want. But I have 100% faith that Trump will win, so I trust the plan. Absolutely, I trust the plan. No Excuses says, how sure are you that Mike Lindell's claims that Trump will be in office by August? It's not a deep fake video. No.
Just Belmont with 69 bits says the next president better be 69 during their term.
It is not a deep fake video. He's talked about this on more than one occasion, and it's not a deep fake video at all. This is his public statement. He's stated this many times. And yeah, it's a real video. He has said it more than once, and I am very confident in Mike Lindell. So I guess we should be excited, but but if you've already been hurt by dates, then maybe don't get so excited. Mr. Abalone says, oh, you are behind. It was confirmed long ago that Majestic 12 is a no-no. Advice is to stop this. You're making no head wag. Each to his own critical thinking and discernment. Majestic 12, I've read all, I'm not sure any of my viewers have read all 30,000 plus tweets by Majestic 12. I have. Over 3 years, I did read every single one. Based on this.
Peter, after this, did admit that they were fake.
Careful vetting and doing research, I can confirm Majestic 12 has switched to the good side. Even Trump was part of Majestic 12 for a while. Even head of the Majestic 12 for a while. So, and as far as...
For those who don't know what Majestic 12 is, it's Men in Black. It's the Men in Black, basically.
The whole each to your own critical thinking. I'm here providing a place to discuss things by providing information that I think is accurate. I'm not going to stop my channel because people think that, you know, they disagree. I think it's good that people disagree and good that people are debating each other in the comments and debating me. I encourage that because honestly, I know I'm going to get some stuff wrong, and I need this feedback from you guys so I can improve, get better, get smarter. I don't have all the answers, but I think collectively with our debating and discussion, we can come closer and closer to the truth. Mayo says,
Thanks,
is this guy serious? Ha 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 face. I am serious because Mike Lindell is serious, because General Flynn is serious, because Trump is serious. If they're serious, then I'm serious. And there's even though there's some frustration and anger in the comment section, I know there are people out there who are being helped, who I've gotten a lot of emails of people who are really depressed and
Harbor57, thanks for resubscribing.
Anxious and feeling very, very down, and they view my videos and they cheer up. So that's what makes it worth it. That's why I do this channel. Obviously I make money as well, but the real fulfilling part of this is helping people. And I did see a comment saying like, oh, Peter's the best troll ever. When there are Republicans committing suicide, I would never troll. That is horrible. That's the worst diss I ever got in my entire life. I'm 100% serious. I'm not a troll. I'm genuinely concerned that there are millions of Republicans.
Okie Dad says, thanks for a fun stream today. Hannah got to dip out to do adulting stuff. We're about to finish once this video's over anyway, so I hope you have a good rest of your day. Good luck doing your adult stuff.
You're extremely depressed. And here you have General Flynn, Mike Lindell, and Trump saying, guys, don't worry. Everything's going to be great. Trump will be back in August. And there's still a bunch of Republicans are depressed. So I'm trying to reach those Republicans and be like, guys, General Flynn, Mike Lindell, Trump says we should be happy and excited for the future. So I think we should be happy and excited for the future. Heaven's Love said a very interesting comment. They said, brother, the word of God says you will be tossed to and fro because of being double-minded. You have to learn not to run with what you hear and do the investigative reporting yourself, and then determine what's right and what's hearsay. The Holy Spirit will help you if you ask Him to reveal truth to you. You will not have to apologize no more to us if you just take a few moments and check things out. God bless you always, and I'm praying for you as a watchman for the community. From the channel, we know has been off many times, but the difference is he doesn't apologize or try to get the right information to us, but you do, and I thank God for your humbleness. This is the real fruit of a godly man. Thank you, Heaven's Love, for this comment. I really appreciate it. I have been humbled from getting stuff wrong, and I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I know that this actually causes severe trauma when people get their hopes up. That's why I made the video about Easter and March 4th and say, guys, the chances are low. I was trying to prevent trauma to a certain extent and be like, guys, something could happen, but the odds are relatively low, so don't put all your eggs in that basket. Don't bet on it. But the Heaven's Love is saying, like, you know, just verify your sources, be more careful. Like, for example, Ghost Ezra's posted thousands and thousands of posts. I don't have time to vet him. 107 has said many hours of stuff. All these people, 7 in total sources that I've been using to make my videos. It would take years to vet these people properly. I'm doing the best to vet them with that.
So it's impossible!
Time that I have, but at this point, I only trust Mike Lindell, General Flynn, and Trump, because I've been burnt so badly by other people. But that's kind of where I stand right now. There's the only people that I've vetted enough that I 100% trust. Eyes Open 5 says, do you consider yourself a credible source? That is a great question to end this video. I think that from the perspective of if you look at my videos and see that I've only gotten maybe 3 or 4 things wrong that I'm like, there's a 100% chance this is correct. Like executive orders, having no power, I got that wrong. January 20th, I got that wrong. And I think one other thing I got wrong, maybe the Air Force One thing, I'm not sure yet. But if you look at the 2 statements I put 100% back that I got wrong, and then you look at everything else that I've gotten right, which is the main
what has he gotten right?
Message, which is that Trump will be back this year, Patriots in control, Trump commands the military. which have been confirmed by General Flynn, Mike Lindell, and Trump.
None of those are confirmed. No, Peter.
If you're saying credibility based on like how accurate am I would say my accuracy is over 90%. Based on my main message has been confirmed by credible sources.
It hasn't, Peter. You're wrong about everything.
You're asking how credible I am, as in, like, am I a good, honest, trustworthy person who tells you what I think is the truth and doesn't lie? Then I would say I'm 100% credible because I've never lied to you guys. I've been totally blunt and very direct about what I believe. And I'm just a Christian person, Trump supporter who is trying to cheer Republicans up, and I'm a little disappointed in myself that I have not done a better job at that. But I'm learning through this process with your help, and I hope I can become better at cheering you guys up with factual sources. In my opinion, if Trump says our brightest days are just ahead, that sounds like he'll be president this year and he controls the military, because he can only be president if he controls the military. If General Flynn says Trump will be president this year, then again, Trump will be president this year and Trump must control the military. If Mike Lindell says Trump will be president this year in
This is so much fucking argument from consequences. It's crazy.
August, again, Trump will be president this year, probably in August, and again, he needs to control the military, which means the Patriots are in control. So the main message has been confirmed. I think that depending on how you look at it, you'd be like, oh, if you just focus on January 20th that I got wrong, you're like, oh, I got stuff wrong. Or if you hear the March 4th or Easter 4th thing and you think that I 100% backed it or promised it, you're like, oh yeah, you're getting a lot of stuff wrong. But if you watched the whole video and saw that I said the odds are very low for these dates.
Oh yeah, he's suggesting a military coup. He's been more explicit about that in other videos.
And you actually watched all my videos, you realize that the main message has been confirmed, which is exciting, and that adds a ton of credibility to me. I'm just doing my best, guys. We're in a big information war, tons of disinformation agents. In my opinion, the only power the deep state has left is the power to put out disinformation and lies, and they're going full force ahead, putting a bunch of lies out. And plus, there's people who are just want to make money, so they're just saying whatever they want. If I said, guys, you can trust General Flynn, Trump, Mike Lindell, Simon Parks, Charlie Ward, 107, Ghost Ezra, and trust them 100%, and I never said anything bad about these people, I would have way more subscribers, like 60, 80,000, and I would be making like double the money. But I don't do that because, like I said, my priority here is to be honest and accurate, and if that means that I offend some people and that I lose money, I lose subscribers, I'm okay with that because my integrity is intact. I'm putting accuracy and honesty as a higher priority than making money, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself at night. And I know that offends people, and there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just trying to provide the truth. I will continue to do better. Thank you for challenging me and humbling me in the comments and pointing out when I get stuff wrong. If you guys want to feed me information, send it to healthsanctuaryfamily@gmail.com. Love to hear your input. It's hard for me to go through the comment section, but people who email me, I always look at their emails. So definitely send me what you think, debate me, or provide evidence that I'm correct. But I'm open to hearing more from you guys. I have a lot of respect for the intelligence of my audience. Very, very smart people in my comment section. And that's the reason I care. If all you guys are not smart, I'd be like, you're all wrong, I'm right, I don't care about you. But I listen carefully because my audience is extremely intelligent, and they're helping me find out what's true and what's false in this information war. So thank you so much, everyone. You've been great supporters, and thank you for subscribing.
Did he just combine saying sleep at night and live with myself into sleep with myself? I didn't notice if he did.
Click on the subscription button on the bottom right corner of the screen so you can stay updated on when my videos get posted, which are all about how Trump will be president this year and Patriots are controlling.
This video is from 2021.
Trump commands the military. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and I hope this video answers your main questions.
Alright, that's enough conspiracies for one day. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I very, very much appreciate it. Who's this? I think he doesn't allow raids, does he? Let me double check. Nope, only allows in-network raids. Alright, does anyone have anyone they want me to raid? Because I don't really care to raid any of the people. Well, Blizz... Well, wow, holy shit, why does BlizzBear have so many fucking viewers right now? Holy fuck. Anyone? Fuck it, we'll do BlizzBear. Whatevs. Oops, that's the wrong chat. Alright, have a good night, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for some other kind of stream. And Sunday is the patron-only live stream, so you can still become a Patreon if you'd like to be a part of that. We'll be covering Nick Fuentes and some other band people that I can't cover on Twitch. So we'll be doing it on YouTube. Alright, have a good night, everyone. See you later.